What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 1K. Chapter 1 When you are in Konoha, it is reasonable to have a group of wives and concubines, right? Advertise here. Tianyu, you're going to be late. A girl with a round head angrily urged a young man in tang suit behind her. Today is the day when you are divided into classes. You will become a ninja soon. The young man in tang suit curled his lips. It has nothing to do with me. The place to guide Jonin has already been decided, and I don't want to be a ninja. The girl said with a face full of hatred. What can you do if you're not a ninja? Apart from inheriting your family's detonating charm factory, 50 houses, and 50 acres of land, what else do you think you have? You're still nothing. Tianyu, I swear I will never say weird jokes to Tiantian again. The boy's name is Tianyu. He is a time traveler who has traveled to the world of Hokage. It is different from other time travelers who have become the protagonist groups such as Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi. Tianyu traveled through time and was reborn as an ordinary civilian ninja, Tiantian's cousin. The family has nothing but money. Mediocre talent in physical arts, mediocre talent in ninjutsu, and mediocre talent in illusion. In addition to the summoning talent of the Tiantian family to facilitate business, Tianyu's ninja talent is hard to describe. As the direct heir to a large manufacturer of detonating charms, Tianyu's first requirement for inheriting the family business is to become an ordinary ninja. Because only by becoming a ninja can you participate in the production of detonating charms, participate in the transportation of goods, and take over the family business. However, it is just to become a ninja. Tianyu's family didn't expect him to achieve anything higher. What's good about being a ninja is that it's dangerous, you're poor, and your social status isn't high. So what if the ninja is awesome? Aren't you working as a guard for our family? In the chain of contempt in the ninja world, daimyo greater than nobles greater than rich businessmen greater than ninja. Don't look at the entire Hokage ninja anime, which is full of head-on injuries. During the Fourth Ninja War, Mizukage still had to bend over and make fun of the daimyo of grass country. So Tianyu thought about it. After getting the diploma, he went home and became an ordinary rich second generation, taking dozens of beautiful concubines to carry on the family line. The love and hatred between ninjas has nothing to do with me. If the sky falls, there are tall people who can hold it up, and if the shinobi world breaks out, it has nothing to do with capitalists like them. In other words, capitalists like them have the final say whether the ninja world is in chaos or not. Ninja Village was originally hired by those who had money and leisure to pay for it. It's a pity that Tiantian doesn't think so. She has a martial arts dream. As a member of the Tang family in Hokage, she wants to be a female ninja like Lord Tsunade. Tianyu looked at Tiantian's Xiaolong Bao and shook his head. There is probably no chance in this life. Opposite Tiantian blushed with embarrassment and stretched out his fist in a frenzy. Tianyu coughed twice and hurriedly walked a few steps away from Tiantian who was about to transform into Tsunade. Snort. Tiantian glared at him and followed him into the school. Today is the day Tianyu is assigned to classes. He has completed the graduation assessment, registered as a ninja, obtained a ninja forehead protector, and became a glorious genin. The so-called class division is actually the purpose of the Hokage faction to select the talented ninjas of each class and supplement the strength of Anbu or the Hokage family. This year, including Tianyu, there are 40 people, and there are only 9 people who can really be guided by Jonin himself, which is the 9 people in the 12 little strong. The rest of the genin basically went back to their respective homes to find their respective mothers. You can also take on missions if you want. Like Might Die, find your own teammates and form a small team of 3 to take on some odd jobs. Forget about C-level and above tasks with high commissions. Those are reserved exclusively for Hokage to train his younger brothers. Without Chunin or Jonin to lead the team, it is basically the same as courting death. So ninja school is actually a bit like militia training. After training, they go home to farm, and then they are pulled out as cannon fodder during the war. Tianyu, as a wealthy second generation who is about to inherit the family business, naturally does not have to worry about livelihood issues. All he can think about now is how many wives will be suitable for him to marry in the future. The world of Hokage is actually polygamous. Those who are monogamous in the ninja village are basically because the woman is strong or poor and cannot afford to support them. Which of the great names, nobles, and wealthy businessmen do not have wives and concubines? So Tianyu doesn't want to be a ninja at all. Arriving at the classroom, he took out a scroll and unfolded it, summoning a complete set of coffee, pastries, and miscellaneous books at your fingertips. Start spending time leisurely amidst the adoring screams of the little girls. In front of him, Tianyu, Erzuju's appearance was inferior to him. The 2 pillars occupy at most one Pan An's appearance. And Tianyu has already taken possession of Pan Lu and Dang Xiaoshan. In the eyes of the young girls who graduated from the ninja school this year, Tianyu is the best marriage partner. Secondly, Erzuzi, who moans all day long with a paralyzed face, is only the kind of decoration that can be viewed from a distance but not played with. Tianyu is not only good looking, but also has money, patience, and leisure. Compared to fighting and killing, girls prefer this kind of rich romance. At this time, a carefree voice sounded from in front of Tianyu. Tianyu, give me some. I haven't eaten. Tianyu looked up and saw that it was the protagonist Naruto who had a passionate kiss with Erzu just now. Chapter 2. I am in the ninja school, so it makes sense for me to be the sponsor, right? Advertise here. Regarding Naruto's experience, Tianyu is very sympathetic. But it is limited to sympathy. Because the Tianyu family are all beneficiaries of Sarutobi Hiruzen's administration. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen is obedient to the outside world, he strikes hard internally. But in order to keep the position of Hokage in the Sarutobi clan, his attitude towards civilians and commoner ninjas was like taking care of them as his own father. This is like an election in a beautiful country. It doesn't matter what people do privately, but when they treat voters, they just say one word and it's over. Therefore, the Tianyu family can be regarded as die-hard supporters of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Therefore, Tianyu, like Zhu Shaoqiang, does not need to care about Naruto Jinchuriki's identity and socializes freely. It would be troublesome for their Tien family to produce a Jonin. The third generation does not have to worry about competing for the Hokage position. On the contrary, because of Tianjia's economic strength and position in the business district, Sarutobi Hiruzen still needs to persuade them to do more tasks to generate income. As a successful investor in the future, Tianyu naturally has to have a good relationship with the father of the protagonist of Shippuden and the protagonist of Boruto. So he directly summoned a bucket of steaming instant noodles from the scroll and placed it in front of Naruto. Come on, eat whatever you want. Naruto's eyes widened and he excitedly took the instant noodles. Ah, limited edition pork bone ramen. Thank you Tianyu. Time in the sealed scroll is suspended, and everything can remain in the state it was in when it was put in. This is why everyone in Guy's class calls Tiantian convenient. And now Tianyu has also inherited Tiantian's convenience. He is like a rich Doraemon in school, with various convenient items sealed in the ninjutsu scrolls. After all, he has money. Sasuke snorted. Boring. Tianyu curled his lips and expressed his contempt for this loser who opened his magatama in anger. At this time, in the Hokage office, the instructor Jonin looked at Tianyu and Naruto speechlessly. Is this the young master from the Tien family? This is for gold plating. That Naruto is also the focus of frequent riots. Kakashi's face was a little depressed, and he glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen gave him an encouraging look. Kakashi instantly understood the meaning of third generation. This is the sponsor. Can't be offended. At this time Iruka walked in from the door with the list. At a glance, he saw Tianyu drinking coffee and Naruto eating instant noodles with black lines on their heads. Naruto, you can't eat instant noodles in school. Put it down. Didn't Tianyu eat it too? What he ate was pastries and coffee. Not instant noodles. You taste bad. Tianyu put away the set meal with a smile. I'm practicing summoning, not eating, drinking and having fun. Iruka. Yes, it's worth encouraging. Naruto. I at %hash. Tianyu smiled. Asking my father to inject funds into the ninja school was indeed very effective. Problems that can be solved with money are not problems. The male students looked at this damn rich second generation who came to experience life with black lines on their heads, and a feeling of jealousy arose spontaneously. Iruka coughed twice to draw the students' attention to him. Next, we will be divided into classes. Sato Inosuke, Yumikawa Kuko, Hirano Kaharu, you are in the same class. The students below were whispering, feeling extremely excited about the upcoming ninja life. Only Tianyu looked bored, because he knew that the members of these teams had already been assigned by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Occult Specialized Class, Ino Shika Cho. Search for Specialized Banya, Shino, Hinata. As well as 9 Tails Specialized Classes Naruto, Sasuke and Little Sakura. Of course, Little Sakura is just a makeup, mainly because she is the first in theory. As a people-friendly Hokage, we still have to give civilians a chance, and we cannot give all the places to those family members. Next is Class 7, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto's face suddenly dropped. The corners of Tianyu's mouth raised slightly, and he made a bet with Naruto about his team members, and the loser would be treated to Ichiraku ramen. It doesn't matter whether you have money or not, what matters is happiness. Tianyu. Hey, the last Haruno Sakura. Naruto's eyes were also shining. Yes, and there was little Sakura too. Iruka. Tianyu. Next is Class 8, Tianyu. Naruto. Naruto pointed at Sasuke and yelled. Ah, my little Sakura. Teacher Iruka. Forget it Tianyu, why should I be paired with this guy? Tianyu was also confused. No, Teacher Iruka, I want to go home and inherit the 50 acres of land and 50 houses. He doesn't want to hang out with the protagonist, his life is not strong enough. Wouldn't it be nice to just eat and wait to die? My measurements are lower than little Sakura's, so it's very dangerous to follow Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke. HMPH, boring. Iruka's head is full of black lines. Shut up, this is Hokage-sama's arrangement. Now that you have become a ninja, you must obey the arrangement. How do you memorize the ninja code? Little Sakura's eyes were filled with disappointment. Then he gritted his teeth and looked at Naruto. Why is this bastard in Class 7? It would be great if I could team up with Tianyu and Sasuke instead of him. At this time, she had no idea that the opportunity that originally belonged to her was blown away by a butterfly that suddenly appeared. Chapter 3 I'm in class 7, so it's reasonable to not want to do tasks, right? Advertise here. On the roof of the ninja school, Naruto and Tianyu looked at the 50-50 white hair opposite them with despair. Naruto. My little Sakura. Tianyu. My inheritance. Sasuke. Your father is not dead yet. Kakashi coughed twice. Would you like to introduce yourself first? Sasuke. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto. My little Sakura. Tianyu. My inheritance. Sasuke. I don't have anything I like or dislike. Naruto. My little Sakura. Tianyu. My inheritance. Sasuke. If I have to say one thing, it's revenge. I must kill that person. Naruto. My little Sakura. Tianyu. My inheritance. Sasuke. Shut up. I just said that the team is a burden. You don't want to form a team and leave. Naruto. HMPH. I want to be a Hokage man. Tianyu. Naruto, what you are saying is ambiguous. Becoming a Hokage and becoming a Hokage man do not mean the same thing. Naruto. Really? Sasuke. Kakashi. Tianyu sighed. Life is like rape. Since you can't resist, you can only enjoy it. I am Tianyu, an ordinary rich man. Kakashi. Sasuke. Naruto held the forehead protector on his forehead and said excitedly. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like. Tianyu. I like ramen and little Sakura. I hate Sasuke. I dream of being a Hokage. Yuan Shi. Kakashi-sensei can start the next step. Naruto. Kakashi. Kakashi looked at his chaotic team with a headache. He remembered Sarutobi Hiruzen's instructions to him not long ago. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Kakashi, it's been 2 years, and it's time for you to come out. Now you are the only one in Konoha who has Sharingan. I hope you can help Sasuke master Sharingan as soon as possible. In order to prevent Nine Tails Night from happening, we need to have a key that can stop Nine Tails. Kakashi. What about Tianyu? He really didn't see any of Tianyu's specialties in the information. Sarutobi Hiruzen. His family is very rich. Kakashi. Kakashi opened his mouth, wanting to say something but was speechless. Teacher. Naruto's shout brought Kakashi back from his thoughts. What's next? What are we going to do next? Kakashi came to his senses and then made a serious face. I'm not happy with you. Tianyu suddenly raised his hand and asked. Teacher, can I ask you a question? Kakashi frowned. This guy is a little jumpy. You ask. Tianyu asked with a serious face. What does it mean to be a ninja? Kakashi was stunned, and his mind went back and forth. Of course it's to protect the people in the village from harm. Tianyu smiled and said. No. Wrong. Kakashi and others frowned. Naruto said with an unconvinced look. Something is wrong. That's what Grandpa Hokage said. It's also what the textbook teaches. Kakashi asked curiously. Then what did you say it was for? Tianyu said with a smile. Of course it's to make money. Kakashi's face was a little gloomy. Too many of his comrades fell on the battlefield of the Ninja World War. He felt humiliated by the superficial meaning of what Tianyu said. Tianyu said with a smile. Don't you think it's right? Then think about why the village was established. Without waiting for Kakashi and others to reply, Tianyu said directly. It's because the first Hokage wants to end the war between ninja families. And why do ninja families fight everywhere? It's because they are employed by various countries. In other words, the original purpose of ninja fighting is to make money. And the purpose of our current village ninjas taking on missions is also to make money. Even the wars started by the village before were all because the daimyos of the fire country wanted to make money, seize territory, and gain more say. So, the meaning of being a ninja is actually to make money and support our families. This is a job, and it is a very dangerous job. Kakashi and Naruto opened their mouths to refute, but after thinking for a long time, they realized that what Tianyu said made damn sense. Tianyu looked at Kakashi and Naruto with their big mouths and smiled crookedly. So, several people looked over in unison. Tianyu coughed twice. If I have to do tasks in the future, can I pay ninjas to do it for me? As long as it can be completed, right? Kakashi stumbled, and the ninja asked the ninja to do a task. This is what people can think of. He roared with a crazy look on his face. To put it bluntly, you just don't want to do the mission, right? Tianyu spread his hands with an innocent look. I have money. Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke. Grass. The evil rich second generation. Chapter 4 People are being assessed. Is it reasonable for me to pay someone to steal the bell? Advertise here. Kakashi, who had a MMP look on his face, lost interest in inspecting Naruto and the other three. He frightened Tianyu and the other three, then told them the time and place to gather and told them not to have breakfast before leaving in a flash. Tianyu shook his head regretfully. My golden escape is not inferior to that of that little devil in the herb collection mission. If Kakashi agrees, it would be great to issue a escort mission himself and recruit little Hinata and Ino for personal protection. I was right, the point of being a ninja is to make money. Only ghosts would be willing to work voluntarily if they had no money. The reason why Sarutobi Hiruzen was able to develop the Hokage series to this point was because he controlled the mission channels. Tianyu glanced at Naruto who was excitedly preparing for tomorrow's assessment and shook his head. Innocently, Kakashi becoming a teacher this year is a task assigned by third generation. It is different from the paid leave in the previous 2 years. No matter what Naruto and Sasuke do, Kakashi will let Team 7 pass the test. Wait until the next day. Tianyu came to the training ground early to gather. Knowing that Kakashi was peeping from the side, Tianyu directly used the summoning technique to summon a comfortable big bed and a sumptuous breakfast in the seal scroll. Naruto and Sasuke looked confused as they looked at Tianyu, who was comfortably leaning on the bed eating. Naruto swallowed and stared at Tianyu and said, "Hey, Tianyu, didn't teacher Kakashi say you don't want breakfast?" Sasuke turned his gaze to the side and snorted. "You're the only one who still wants to pass the exam." Tianyu chuckled and said, "Teacher Kakashi said it's best not to eat breakfast, but it doesn't mean you can't eat it. I feel like my mental endurance is okay. I won't vomit even if I eat breakfast." Kakashi, who was observing in the dark, nodded and commented in his mind. Relatively calm and good at analysis. Tianyu should have guessed my intentions. It is also possible that he has collected the intelligence from my assessment in previous years. Although his strength is weak, he is not without any merits. It was almost noon. Kakashi came to Naruto and Sasuke, who were already extremely hungry, with a bang and said with a smile, "Oh, I was late helping the old lady cross the road." Tianyu glanced at Kakashi with a sigh. The look in his eyes that said, "You have finally become Obito's shape," made Kakashi feel an unspeakable malice. Kakashi frowned and ignored Naruto, who was screaming in anger, and started to introduce the assessment rules for grabbing the bell to several people. Kakashi tucked the bell into his waist and said loudly, "The assessment begins." Sasuke swooped and hid in the bushes nearby. Kakashi nodded with satisfaction. "Not bad, the concealment is okay." He looked directly in front of him again. Naruto and Tianyu were discussing who would be the first to deal with them. Kakashi's head is full of black lines. He decided to make the two of them suffer a little more. My father's secret rule of not having diarrhea for thousands of years must be given to the two of them one more time. Hateful. Naruto looked at the scissors in his hand with a look of reluctance. Tianyu on the side patted Naruto's shoulder and laughed. "I can't do it, little brother. My luck is not as good as mine." Kakashi narrowed his eyes, looking at Tianyu with an unkind expression. He wanted to see where this ordinary genin with low strength had the confidence to snatch the bell from his hand. Tianyu stood up slowly and put his hand in his ninja tool bag. A wicked smile appeared on the corner of his mouth and he said to Kakashi, "Kakashi-sensei, do you remember the question I asked you before?" Kakashi. "Huh." Tianyu smiled crookedly. The meaning of being a ninja. An ominous premonition suddenly arose in Kakashi's heart. He watched as Tianyu's audience suddenly grew into a sky monkey that exploded into the sky. Kakashi's expression changed and he rushed out towards Tianyu. However, he had just turned halfway. Suddenly, a black shadow blocked his path and kicked him out. Leaf Great Whirlwind. While Sasuke and Naruto had confused expressions, a might guy wearing green tights, with a black watermelon head and thick eyebrows made a coquettish appearance and stood between Kakashi and Tianyu. "Yo, old enemy, let's have a fateful showdown." And not far away, Tiantian, Hyuga Neji, and Rock Lee ran over panting. "Tianyu." Tiantian yelled at Tianyu frantically, "You guy, you actually spent 80,000 taels to issue B-level tasks to help you complete the assessment. Are you crazy? My uncle will beat you to death if he knows." That's right. After Tianyu was disbanded yesterday, he went directly to the mission release office to issue a B-level mission to Sarutobi Hiruzen to help him complete Kakashi's assessment test. Third generation, who had always been worried that Kakashi would not give him face, would be too harsh and unwilling to lead the class, hit it off with Tianyu, and directly arranged for Might Guy, who had been coaching Jonin for a year and was too idle, to take over this outrageous task. Tianyu smiled. He took out various picnic tools and barbecue drinks from the seal scroll and greeted. Come on, let's all sit down and take a rest. Let's see how awesome my Jin-dun recruiting technique is. Kakashi. Grass. Chapter 5. It's reasonable for me to pay people to do tasks, right? Advertise here. In a reception room in the Hokage building. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Iruka were sitting across from each other drinking tea. Iruka seemed a little impatient. He held a stack of documents and said anxiously to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hokage-sama, is Naruto's guidance to Jonin too harsh? There is no genin who has qualified once for 2 consecutive years. And all the people I brought with me before were from famous families. Even if the Uchiha clan was not as good as Sasuke in the first 2 years, they were still famous clans like the Ino Shikacho, Hyuga, and Moonlight clans. And Naruto is just a low-level person, and Tianyu has only mediocre qualifications. The ninja test is not based on looks, being handsome is of no use. It's all up to Sasuke alone. Can the 3 of them really pass the assessment? Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up the teacup with a strange expression, took a sip and said. In the past, I really couldn't give you a guarantee, but this time, I'm sure of it. Iruka looked stunned, wondering why third generation was so sure. But Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't explain, he just picked up the cigarette bag with a smile and started smoking, which made Iruka's inner curiosity burst. The sun sets in the west. In the training ground, Kakashi panted and looked at the stupid blue beast opposite. Might Guy held 2 bells in his hand and proudly showed them. White Fang chuckled and said. Ah ha ha ha, 80 to 78. I won this time. Kakashi, you are worthy of being my lifelong rival. Kakashi. My day hash at. Hash. Next to them, Tianyu and his group clapped their hands with satisfaction. You must be satisfied. These two elite jonin staged a wonderful battle for the bell. This sense of deja vu is similar to the scene in the anime a few years later where Naruto teamed up with Sakura to fight Kakashi in the Second World War. All the genin including Tianyu watched it with gusto. Only Kakashi wanted to beat this damn rich second generation to death with a black face. Naruto and Sasuke both looked confused. Assessment. How can it be tested like this? They suddenly remembered that Kakashi only had 2 bells. The two frowned and looked at Tianyu at the same time. Sasuke's face was even more ugly. Tianyu had a good relationship with Naruto. If he gave the bell to Naruto, wouldn't he be unable to graduate? Tianyu said to the two of them very considerately. Don't worry, I know I'm the weakest here, so I'll give the bell this time to you too. I'll go back to school for further studies. After saying this, he motioned for Might Guy to throw the bell to Naruto and Sasuke. Might Guy naturally has no objection to his employer's request. But he knew this was just a test. He chuckled and looked at Kakashi, wanting to see his excitement. Naruto was so moved that he couldn't speak. Tianyu. Sasuke also had an embarrassed expression on his face. He felt ashamed because he had doubted Tianyu just now. Only Kakashi looked at Tianyu with a sneer. If he hadn't read Tianyu's information, he might have really believed that this guy had such good intentions. This kid definitely got eliminated on purpose and went home to inherit the family fortune. If he really wanted to send this waste away before, but now he is interested in Tianyu. Kakashi sneered and said through gritted teeth. No, you all passed this assessment. You cooperated very well. He looked at Tianyu and the others, whose mouths were full of oil, with a malicious look in their eyes. Tianyu felt a chill in his heart. Damn it, are you getting anxious? Well, Mr. Kakashi, I still feel that I am not suitable to be a ninja. How about you change me? I have a good recommendation. I think Haruno Sakura is good. The theory is first. She is still a girl. It is not tiring to work with men and women. You know. Kakashi. Haha, Tianyu. Tianyu felt that he should save himself. He looked at the money in his pocket, and after disbanding, he decisively walked towards the Hokage building again. Hokage-sama, urgent mission. Wait until the next day. 1/2-3/4. Kakashi looked at the 4 genin standing in front of him with a blank expression and counted them twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. He looked at Haruno Sakura and asked with a strange expression. You. Are not from our class, are you? Little Sakura crossed her hands with a look of embarrassment, and turned to Tianyu like a little girl. I received a designated mission from Mr. Hokage. It was said that Tianyu-san issued a C-level long-term mission and asked me to help him with the mission. Tianyu said with a righteous tone. You don't need to thank me, Kakashi-sensei. I know I'm a loser, so I use my Kenjutsu technique to recruit a summoning technique to do the work for me. Is there any problem? No problem. Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi. I hash at %hash. Are you F***king sick? You spend money on C-level missions to get people to do DF-level missions for you. Holy shit, I really want to beat him to death, what should I do? Waiting online, urgent. Chapter 6. It makes sense to ask Princess Hyuga for a spa treatment, right? Advertise here. A little to the left, yes. Try harder. Tianyu was lying on a bed with a hole, and little Sakura was massaging her with a blushing face. I have to say that Ninja Spa is much more exciting than the young lady in her previous life. As the fresh graduate of ninja school, little Sakura's first crush became herself. In addition, he helped her get the opportunity to mentor Jonin. This makes little Sakura obey Tianyu during the mission. Although from Naruto's point of view, little Sakura seems a bit green tea, but now from the perspective of Urzu, little Sakura is absolutely the best. Not to mention that when all the major girls in Boruto were severely weakened by the version, green tea Sakura suddenly emerged and directly became the first choice for many fans of the Mumu legacy. At this time, little Sakura, who is a civilian, has no ability to resist this rich second generation. Bang. Late at 5:50 p.m., we arrived at the meeting place again. Tianyu reluctantly put away his spa suit and weakly stood in a row with Naruto and Sasuke, 2 big enemies. Kakashi looked at little Sakura and twitched his lips. This dog, forget it, it only lasts for 1 year anyway. Once the number of tasks is completed, you can let go. Kakashi led several people to the mission release office. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Kakashi, who looked resentful and lowered his head. Don't look at me, this is the sponsor. Well, there are several E-level missions here. Kakashi, please pick some. Kakashi said quietly. Is there any C-level long-term protection mission? Cough. Sarutobi Hiruzen choked on the cigarette and pretended to be nonchalant and said. This kind of thing is rare. I think this weeder is pretty good. I'll leave it to you, Class 7. Tianyu sighed and shook his head. It's not that I can't find it. I also want Hinata and Ino to help me with the task, but it's a pity that the village chief doesn't agree. Kakashi and Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Tianyu speechlessly. Where is the face? Let the princess of the Hyuga family and the Yamanaka clan give you a spa. You're thinking shit. I'm not from a poor commoner like Sakura, so I don't care about you. Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart goes back and forth 1,000 times. The Tianyu family made a lot of money during the war in the ninja world. Looking at this slut, I wanted to rob him. Kakashi took the mission scroll with a black streak on his head. He has given up treatment now. He has even regarded Tianyu as a task target. Anyway, it is not like he has never taken on tasks such as protecting the princess. His current disciples are Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura-chan. Well, these three are the ones. Several people arrived at the mission location. Tianyu skillfully summoned out deck chairs, sun umbrellas, refreshments and other convenient equipment and placed them in front of himself and Kakashi. Kakashi skillfully took over a pair of sunglasses, and the two of them sat on the recliner like streetwalkers watching Naruto, Sasuke and little Sakura weeding. Naruto and Sasuke gritted their teeth as they watched. Only little Sakura still has a bit of a slut expression on her face. As for how Sakura roars, it's not Tianyu's business. Kakashi drank black tea and frowned at Tianyu. Do you really not want to be a ninja at all? Tianyu put down the book with a look of helplessness on his face. Teacher Kakashi, in the ninja world, talent is very important. I am just an ordinary civilian ninja. My ninjutsu is not as good as Sasuke's, my physical skills are not as good as Naruto's, and my genjutsu is not as good as little Sakura's. Ninja is a high-risk profession. If you want to make money, you need to work hard. If you just want to be a genin, look at their current job. It's dirtier than what my family does, and they make less money. Why bother? Don't look at those Chunin and Jonin. Most of the 80,000 ninja coalition forces in the 4th Ninja War were genin. Genin is only qualified to take on missions below sea level. Weeding, picking up trash, cleaning pastures, delivering food. What kind of jobs do these have? These are jobs that even civilians are too lazy to do and are left to the genins. To put it mildly, he is a ninja. To put it harshly, genin is just an odd job. Unless you can find a good teacher or work hard for the Hokage to increase your strength and enter Chunin, being a genin for the rest of your life will definitely be a hard, tiring and poor career. Why is everyone gathering around Sarutobi Hiruzen? Isn't it because Sarutobi Hiruzen controls the ceiling scroll and promotion channels? With his own qualifications, no matter how hard he works, he can only survive as a Jonin. In this cage-level world, Jonin is not as good as a dog's Shippuden. Wouldn't it be nice for him to be a salted fish in the ninja world? Kakashi fell into silence after listening to Tianyu's words. It seems to make sense. He frowned and suddenly took out a scroll from his arms and placed it on the tea table. Since I have become your teacher, I can't teach you anything. Your talent for summoning is good, but it is only used to collect luggage. This is the summoning scroll of my ninja dog clan. Please sign it. If you encounter any accident, you can summon a few ninja dogs, which is enough for you to escape. Tianyu's eyes lit up when he heard this. Although the 3 assessment criteria for ninjas are ninja, physical, and illusion. But in fact, the truly high-end techniques in this world are ninjutsu, senjutsu, and summoning jutsu. The legendary Sannin are best known not for their strength, but for the toads, snakes, and katsuyu they summon, which can wreak havoc on the battlefield. Although Kakashi's ninja dogs are incomparable to the summoning beasts of the 3 holy lands. But a summoning contract with a clear positioning is enough to make Konoha shinobi fans covetous. Not everyone can use the summoning technique without a summoning contract and be lucky enough to go to Mount Myoboku like Jiraiya. Most of the people were teleporting so randomly that not even the scum was left. The Tianyu family's summoning technique is also limited to sealing scrolls or setting up summoning arrays at a certain location in advance. It's like summoning the sea water every day during the 2nd Chunin exam. The other end of the summoning scroll is connected to the sea. Commoner families like them basically don't have contracts with the authentic summoning beast clan like Kakashi. Tianyu quickly took the small scroll and muttered. How can this be so embarrassing? Even so, he did not move slowly and quickly signed his name on the final scroll, as if he was worried that Kakashi would regret it. Let me try. Kakashi's head is full of black lines. After receiving the summoning contract, Tianyu stood up excitedly and was ready to try. Although I don't want to be a ninja, it doesn't mean that I don't want to learn these cool ninjutsu. I didn't dare to summon at will before because I was afraid that I would be transported to some unknown summoning world and be killed by those ferocious summoning beasts. It was rare for me to be born on the finish line, so it would be a great loss for me to die trying to show off. But now that he has signed the contract, the sequelae will at most be summoning failure due to insufficient chakra. There will be no random transmission of himself, so of course he has to try. Tianyu bit his fingers and formed seals quickly and skillfully. Summoning technique. The next second he felt his chakra being consumed rapidly. Finally there was a bang, and a burst of white mist appeared. A black shadow slowly stood up from the white mist. Chapter 7 The lowly dog demon is also a ninja dog. Is this reasonable? Open black lens bracket second update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Where is this? Who are you? A crisp sound came from the white mist. Tianyu's eyes widened and he turned to look at Kakashi who was also confused and asked. Which summoning contract did you give me? Kakashi scratched his head in confusion. It's a ninja dog. Tianyu pointed at the little loli in front of her who was dressed in red and wore a bow with dog ears and asked with a shocked look on her face. You call this a ninja dog? That's right. What Tianyu summoned was not a ninja dog at all. Instead, he has medium-long black hair, tied with a red butterfly ribbon, with brown pupils. He is wearing a red kimono, a ribbon with a bow tied around his waist, a red cape, and red fire rats on his hands and legs. Chu, the barefoot little loli. She carries a bow and arrow on her back and a long knife on her waist. She has nothing to do with a ninja dog. Tianyu looked at Kakashi with an, I misjudged you, expression and sighed. I didn't expect you to be such a Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi looked crazy. What's that look in your eyes? Even if something goes wrong, it's not my summoning scroll, okay. Does this guy think he raised this privately? At this time, the little loli was a little bored. She glared at Tianyu and said angrily. You asked me to come here, right? Who are you? Tianyu has not yet recovered from the shock caused by Kakashi's summoning scroll. He pointed at himself subconsciously. Did I ask you to come? The little loli frowned and said. Nonsense. I can feel the connection between us, magic. I can tell you, I am the famous monster killer Moroha. There is a price for summoning me. Tianyu. Kakashi looked confused. What kind of monster killer? The one who killed Summoningmon. But Tianyu was even more confused. Because he finally recognized the identity of the girl in front of him. Damn it, isn't this InuYasha's daughter? A dog demon. Can he be considered a ninja dog? Tianyu looked at the summoning contract given by Kakashi with a shocked expression. Is this still a baby? And at this moment, Zuya suddenly frowned. Your spiritual power is exhausted, you are so weak. With a bang, Zuya disappeared from where he was. Tianyu felt weak and hurriedly refined chakra again to replenish his consumption. When he regained his composure, he suddenly shouted. What the hell, Moroha? Then he suddenly realized. This TM is colluding. Summoning the monsters from InuYasha's world by yourself. No, it's a half-demon. He looked at Kakashi with burning eyes. Kakashi-sensei, how about you try summoning too? Kakashi also nodded with a puzzled face, then bit his finger and pressed it to the ground. Summoning technique. Bang. The street ninja dogs of the Parker family appeared in front of Tianyu. No problem. Kakashi looked at Tianyu strangely. Did you make the wrong seal just now? However, Tianyu was trembling all over and couldn't help being excited. He's enlightened. This is the cheat I have been waiting for more than 10 years. That's for sure. Once upon a time, he also once dreamed of becoming a powerful and immortal Six Paths ninja. As a result, after more than 10 years of hard work, he had to admit that he was just a civilian ninja with no talent. If you work hard in this life, you will become an ordinary jonin, not even an elite jonin. As a result, I unexpectedly discovered that I might have my own cheat. This is also a chicken feather task. Tianyu hugged Kakashi excitedly and said loudly. Teacher Kakashi, I'm taking a leave of absence. I love you. Tianyu then ran out happily towards home. I need to find a secluded place to study my plugin, in case the old Yinbi third generation finds out that he is greedy. Who knows if Naruto still has Anbu by his side? Don't worry, let's take a stab at it first and find out what kind of cheat this is. Kakashi looked at Tianyu who had disappeared and had MMP on his face. You're F***king doing a mission, and you're not even acting anymore. This guy Jonin can't do it. Kakashi said fiercely. If I don't give Lousy a raise, I will give up my job. That's what it says. But Kakashi can also think that Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is desperate for money, will definitely not give up on Tianyu. He glared hatefully at Naruto who was about to protest. Hurry up and do the mission. It takes so long to waste an E-level mission. Naruto's three people's faces darkened. Are you taking it out on yourself? They remembered what Tianyu said about the meaning of being a ninja. Suddenly, I felt a bitter feeling welling up in my heart. Urzuzi looked even more confused. He now felt that it would be much faster for him to make money to hire ninjas to kill Uchiha than to do it himself. Did he take his revenge in the wrong direction? Made a mistake, come again. Corrupted by money, Sasuke began to think about the direction of his life. Chapter 8 If you can't be a ninja, then it makes sense to become a Miko, right? Advertise here. Tianyu was excited when he returned to the mansion. System. Activate the system. Hello. Open the properties panel. He tried various methods to turn on his cheat but still got no response. Tianyu looked depressed. Could it be that I thought wrongly? Falling under an illusion. That's not right. Kakashi has tested it himself. My black-haired little loli with animal ears. Tianyu was a little unwilling. He thought for a moment and bit his finger again to quickly form a seal. Secret technique summoning little loli technique. Same chakra consumption, same consciousness. Huh. Tianyu was shocked to find that a golden light suddenly appeared in his mind. It feels like the designated summoning channel used by the second pillar in the later stage to summon 10,000 snakes to block bombs. Upon seeing this, Tianyu immediately chose to inject chakra into the channel. Bang! The long-lost red Lolita Moroha appeared in front of Tianyu. Why did you call me again? I'm very busy. She still has to make money to pay off her debts. Tianyu was ecstatic. Damn it, it's true. I didn't fall into the illusion. Tianyu felt his chakra consumption. It's okay. It's within the tolerance range. As long as I continue to use physical and mental power to refine chakra, I can maintain Moroha's appearance in the ninja world. What does this mean? You have advanced to the rank of summoner. Zuya sat down on the ground carelessly. Well, forget it. Come here anyway. Do you have anything to eat? I'm hungry. Tianyu grinned. A variety of food and drinks were summoned directly from the seal scroll. Zhu Yi was stunned when he saw this, and then he started to enjoy the food without any image. Tianyu didn't mind either. He knew that the lowly in front of him was Yashahime, who had a quarter of the InuYasha blood, and was InuYasha's daughter. With InuYasha's character, it's not surprising that his daughter has such a habit. Tianyu sank his consciousness into the channel opened in his mind, and a piece of information poured into Tianyu's mind. Summoning Beast. Moroha, Half Demon. Open black lens bracket strength. Shunin close black lens bracket. Ability. Sky Arrow Rain, Soul Dispersing Iron Claw, Flying Blade Blood Claw, Red Dragon Break, True Red Burst Break. Secret Skill. The Red Yaksha of the Collapse. Family. Higurashi Eternal, Setsuna, InuYasha, Sesshomaru. Tianyu opened his mouth. Damn it. What does this family mean? Does this mean that he can summon these family members from the Moroi family? He remembered the setting of summoning technique. A time and space ninjutsu in which the user signs a blood contract with Summoningmon and then summons it. Now he has signed a blood contract with the Dog Demon clan. If nothing else, InuYasha and Sesshomaru are both perverts who break the space with sword critical strikes. If he could summon it himself, maybe Six Paths Madara could be killed, right? Of course, the premise is that you can summon it yourself. After all, the object of summoning needs to be summoned based on the chakra consumed. Forget about the three lowly girls like Moroha, Sesshomaru and InuYasha. Without cage-level chakra volume and refining speed, Tianyu couldn't even think about it. Tianyu looked at Zuya who was burping with a headache and said speechlessly. So, the Dog Demon clan only has Chunin and Six Paths level summoning beasts. There is a gap between the bottom and the middle. As a genin, summoning Moroha requires all his strength to maintain the refining of chakra. He has no extra fighting ability at all. It would be great if he could summon a genin level summoning beast. At this time, Zui stood up from the ground, patting his belly. I'm very pleased with your hospitality. She looked around at her penniless self with some embarrassment. Suddenly his eyes lit up, and he took out an arrow from his back and handed it to Tianyu. This is a gift in return for you. After Zuya finished speaking, he smiled back at Tianyu and disappeared with a bang. Tianyu was stunned for a moment, looking at the arrow left by Zuyi with a look of ecstasy. Damn it. The road is narrow. The greatest function of being able to summon people from other worlds is not to fight, but to exchange resources from other worlds. He picked up the arrow. A message came to my mind again. Demon Destroying Arrow. An arrow infused with spiritual power that can destroy monsters. It can be used to repel incoming enemies, and can also purify miasma, evil spirits, and evil spirits. The effect is very powerful, and its power changes with the ups and downs of your mood. Close black lens bracket. Tianyu took a deep breath, summoned a bow from the arsenal, held it in his hand, placed Vice Admiral's demon-breaking arrow on it, and then slowly injected the chakra in his body into the arrow. The seemingly worn-out arrows actually began to emit bursts of purple light with the injection of chakra. Look at my shooting star. Tianyu chuckled, and the purple arrow rushed straight towards the courtyard wall with a strong wind. With a bang, the violent explosion instantly destroyed the courtyard wall. Tianyu opened his mouth wide. This power is at least twice as powerful as the ninjutsu released by the same amount of chakra. The key is that it is simple. There is no need for cumbersome seal formation and chakra control. You only need to simply inject chakra into the arrow. This means that Tianyu does not need to control chakra's talent at all to display his strength. To do this kind of thing in the ninja world, you need to reach at least the Jonin level. Only after mastering the chakra nature transformation can you have such great power. Tianyu felt a little excited. Just because you have poor talent in practicing the ninja system does not mean that you have poor talent in practicing other systems. If you can exchange for some secret training techniques through summoning, wouldn't you make a lot of money? Tianyu looked at the arrow he took back with a strange expression and muttered. If you can't be a ninja, you might as well be a Miko. Chapter 9. Isn't it reasonable to buy the Hokage's summoning scroll? Open black lens bracket for updates. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Task Release Office. Tianyu stood behind Kakashi with a long bow on his back. At this time, there were 10 more demon-breaking arrows in his quiver. He got all this in exchange for gold. In the Sengoku period of InuYasha's world, the currency was still gold, and as a mediocre rich second generation, he was so poor that he only had money, so he could afford to buy some arrows or something. If it weren't for the difficulty of making demon-breaking arrows, Tianyu would have bought a few tons and saved them for use as bullets. After all, each demon-breaking arrow is equivalent to a Muji ninjutsu. Although he has mediocre qualifications in ninja gensanjutsu, he has inherited a good talent from the Tien family in the use of weapons. 18 kinds of weapons are like toys in Tianyu's hands. Even the curved shurikens of the Uchiha clan are not incapable of being used by Tianyu. The existence of the demon-breaking arrow directly allows Tianyu to skip the step of controlling chakra to perform ninjutsu, allowing himself to become a ruthless ninjutsu gatling. Okay, it's bullet, because like Kakashi, he lacks mana every day. All of this is the conclusion Tianyu came to through his own experiments during this period. He is finally no longer a civilian ninja with no fighting ability at all. At this time, Naruto was having a temper with third Hokage. The long DE level mission had already exhausted his patience. In his mind, ninjas should be like those heroes in martial arts novels who enjoy grudges, but the reality is that he has been picking up garbage for more than a month, and he also walked the dog and looked for the cat. On the contrary, it was Tianyu. Under the influence of his golden escape technique, in addition to studying his own sheets every day, he would chat and spank with Kakashi. At this time, under the influence of Tianyu, Wuukai gradually transformed himself into the shape of Obito. Naruto angrily turned his head away from the third generation, looking like a troubled child. More awesome tasks. I don't want to pick up trash anymore. Third generation squinted and looked at the mission scroll in his hand and suddenly smiled. Okay, there really is a C-level mission here for you. Sasuke and Naruto were overjoyed to hear this. They were already tired of these trivial chores. Kakashi looks like MMP. Naruto is Jinchuriki. It puts a lot of pressure on me to let him go out of the village to do tasks. But third generation thought about it. Asuma has returned from the Daming Palace with gold plating. And his position as agent for Hokage has made Konoha's senior management particularly dissatisfied. During the Nine Tails Rebellion, I took the opportunity to regain the position of Hokage. But due to Danzo's troubles, he eventually became the agent Hokage. What was said at the beginning was that as soon as the next generation grows up, they will abdicate and make way for talents. Over the years, he has been cultivating Asuma, helping Asuma gain favor with daimyo, and helping to enhance Asuma's reputation and popularity. Now Asuma has the conditions to become a Kage, and all that remains is the powerful force that can intimidate all ninja clans. Naruto's Jinchuriki was prepared as a nuclear deterrent for Asuma at this time. This time I just took this opportunity to see Naruto's controllability. If I can safely hand over the Hokage position and step aside to make way for others. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed in his heart. If his eldest son Shinosuke was alive, there would be no need for such troublesome paving the way. The three wars had gone too far in trapping the ninja clan, but Jin-chan finally escaped from his shell and abdicated to extinguish the ninja clan's anger. As a result, the puppet fourth generation died on the night of Nine Tails, and he had to step out to gather power. This repeated jumping angered the ninja clan, leading to the accidental death of his eldest son Sarutobi Shinosuke. Although he used Cloud Shinobi Village to kill Hyuga Hazashi to scare the monkeys, and made those ninjas more honest, his most powerful son could not come back. Sarutobi Hiruzen gets angry every time he thinks about it. Originally, he did not intend for Asuma to succeed the Hokage, so all he instilled in him was the will of fire. Now that there is no other choice, I have to rush to the shelf and find a way to push Asuma up. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt a little depressed. He looked at Naruto to calm down and recited firmly in his heart. This is all for the Sarutobi clan. I can live for a few more years. As long as I let Asuma see the cruelty of this world, he will definitely wake up. Tianyu has no interest in these little things in Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart. At this time, he was thinking about how to activate the second light spot in his mind. He found that after he cultivated the magic power of InuYasha's world mage system to the level of Genin, a second light point appeared in his mind. It's just that he doesn't know how to activate this light spot. Tianyu asked Kakashi in a low voice. Kakashi-sensei, do you have a second summoning beast? Kakashi glanced at Tianyu speechlessly. Do you really think that the summoning clan's blood contract scroll is worthless? Lousy. A ninja dog clan is a ninja clan that is registered in the ninja registration book. Even if you give you a contract, you will make a lot of money. You actually want the second one, you are thinking nonsense. Kakashi pursed his lips. I think Mr. Hokage should have what you want. Tianyu looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and his eyes lit up. Yes, the Ape Demon clan is second only to the three holy places in the summoning world. If a blood contract can be signed, will the second light spot be turned on? Thinking of this, Tianyu raised his hands excitedly and asked loudly. Master Hokage, do you sell your summoning scroll? Sarutobi Hiruzen. Kakashi staggered. Damn it, you really dare to ask for it. Chapter 10. As a rich man, it is reasonable for me to pay Genin to pull the car, right? 5th update requesting data. Advertise here. Outside Konoha village, Tianyu shook his head with a sigh. What the hell, even Hokage? It's not generous at all. Isn't it just a summoning contract? It's so stingy to not give it. Kakashi on the side was speechless. That's the summoning contract. It's not the same as family secrets, it's something more precious than family secrets. Even when second Hokage collected the ninjutsu in the seal scrolls, they did not let each family take these things as public property. This is an heirloom for any ninja clan. You are really thinking nonsense if you want to buy it with money. Naruto nodded in agreement. That's true. It's just a ninjutsu to attract dogs, and it's not that important. I think the fire-breathing ninjutsu that Sas gave me is more awesome. I've seen it at the temple fair before, but I didn't see it. Sasuke squirted so hard, I was envious at the time. Uchiha Sasuke. Get out. Dazuna shouted at Kakashi drunkenly and dissatisfied. What the hell? Can a brat like this really protect me? Are you Konoha being too irresponsible? Naruto, who was already humiliated because of his size, was furious. What the hell? We are ninjas, and I will be a Hokage man in the future. Dazuna curled his lips, a look of disdain on his face. Naruto immediately went crazy and hit Tazuna. I'm going to beat you to death. Kakashi grabbed Naruto's neck and complained. Hey, what do you mean by beating our employer to death first when we go out? Tianyu glanced at Dazuna and sneered. It's just a C-level mission. Since you've tricked people, just lower your attitude. Do you really think we are being taken advantage of? Dazuna trembled in her heart. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm telling the truth. He walked forward in a panic, not daring to look at Tianyu at all. Kakashi and Sasuke frowned, noticing Tatsuna's unusual reaction. On the contrary, it was little Sakura who persuaded Tianyu. Okay, Tianyu, you are your employer after all. You have to be patient and patient. Tianyu looked at little Sakura who seemed to be suppressing her anger with a strange look on her face. He always felt that the way little Sakura looked at him was not right. It feels like I'm looking at Dazuna. Damn it, I almost forgot, I am still little Sakura's employer. These sisters seem to be persuading themselves, but they are actually persuading themselves, right? Thinking of the ninja spa that she had asked her to help with during this period, Tianyu felt guilty. At this time, Kakashi glanced outside the woods, with a thoughtful expression in his eyes. It seems that this mission is not as simple as thought. Tianyu also knew that Brother Guiron was watching him and others in some nook and corner at this time. Like Kakashi, he tried to make the enemy invisible with just a glance. But the reality was cruel. His eyes were so sore that he didn't realize where these two people were hiding. The difference in strength between a mediocre genin and two elite shunin is too big. Scenes like those where the protagonist loses his bastard spirit and the enemy falls to the ground on the spot did not happen here. Tianyu comforted himself in his heart. Forget it, I am a summoner and my abilities are almost natural. As long as my summoned beast can find the enemy, that's all. With the dog demon's nose, I'm afraid it would be difficult for even a jonin to hide his figure. Thinking of this, Tianyu felt a lot happy unconsciously. He glanced sideways at Dazuna and sneered. Poor. Then he directly used the summoning technique to summoning a modified sleigh and several cart-pulling ninja dogs that genin could not reach, and they lay down comfortably on it. At this time, Tianyu has been able to skillfully control the summoning technique of the dog demon clan. As long as he does not inject chakra into the golden light points during summoning, he can normally summon the ninja dog clan of the Kakashi blood contract. This also provided a very good cover for Tianyu. Kakashi and others also thought that the girl might just be the result of Tianyu summoning's failure. Kakashi looked at Tianyu with a look of disdain on his face and took out a few pieces of top-quality Wagyu beef to reward the dog pulling the cart. He already regretted letting Tianyu sign his name on the summoning blood contract. Lousy is here to save your life, not to let you be a sled dog. This is a ninja dog. Do you know what a ninja dog is? There will be a ninja establishment in the future. Kakashi looked at the several dogs who were enjoying the game and sighed. This damn capitalist sugar-coated bullet. Teacher Kakashi, do you want to sit in the spare room this time? I will exempt you from the meal. Kakashi. Yes, I understand the rules. I'll summon you, and you'll pay for the travel expenses. In Dazuna's stunned eyes, he saw the most at ease elite Jonin Kakashi lying on a gorgeous sleigh like a waist, waved his hand and shouted, let's go. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura-chan all sighed. Forget it, MD is used to it. The dog had originally planned to pay the three of them to pull the car, but it was later rejected because only Naruto agreed to this opportunity to make extra money. This damn rich man, bah. Chapter 11 How dare you hit my green tea Sakura, Nisaki. Open black lens bracket first update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Brother Ghost feels very comfortable. They have never seen such a naughty ninja team. Although their mission was to kill Dazuna, at this moment they really wanted to kill the two sluts behind who were riding dogs like Santa Claus. However, Tianyu naturally did not do anything while sitting on the sled. He is meditating and practicing. That's right, just meditate like a monk. This is the practice method that Zuya got from Maitreya. It's of no use to half-demon like them. But it is a good practice method for Tianyu. Because the cultivation system in InuYasha's world focuses on cultivating the soul, the requirements for the physical body are much lower. Wild soul, harmonious soul, strange soul, lucky soul. To be honest, Tianyu was confused about this kind of four-soul cultivation method. Because this practice is a bit like self-hypnosis, or similar to the saint's method of cultivating the mind. According to the practice method given by Zhu Yi, the wild soul represents anger and courage. Heihan represents the bond between friends. Shihan represents the self. The lucky soul represents love. Tianyu has always been skeptical about this nonsense way of practice. Until he teased little Sakura and got her first kiss, the result was that the full level of the soul continued to increase sharply, and the mana directly reached the level of genin. So this way of practice was regarded as the Bible by Tianyu. Good guy, the Dark Bible, right? Mana represents spiritual energy. The increase in spiritual energy has also increased Tianyu's chakra control ability. This allowed Tianyu to easily attach the chakra to the soles of his shoes and walk up to the top of the tree canopy. Tianyu could not do this before. And although this kind of mana is not very strong in increasing combat power, it does have powerful sealing properties. It can also replace chakra as the fuel for the summoning technique, allowing Tianyu to summon more lowly. Ba, Yashahime. The light in his mind also clearly told him that he was able to make a contract summoning the target again, but he didn't know which group he would sign a contract with next time. Are there any powerful people in InuYasha's world? Tianyu shook his head. This was so old that he had almost forgotten it. At this time, Tianyu and his party had already left the border of the country of fire. The ninja dog in front suddenly barked anxiously, and Tianyu woke up from his trance. He looked around, and it was still calm. But this time, my heart instinctively sent out warnings. This seems to be an additional benefit brought about by the improvement of soul power, predicting danger. Tianyu immediately knew and guessed that this was an ambush by the Ghost Brothers. He calmly glanced at the puddle beside him. Well, you can't tell anything, but Kurigakure Elite Shunen's hydration technique is really awesome. But just as Kakashi said, whether it has rained recently or not, there is a puddle of water on the roadside that is particularly conspicuous. It's a pity that no one in the two-pillar and three-person team found any trace of the enemy. But Kakashi and Tianyu suddenly turned their heads towards each other. Tianyu looked at Kakashi. Kakashi looked at Tianyu. The two dogs looked at each other and smiled, then were cut into pieces by the sudden chain. Kakashi-sensei. Tianyu. Naruto turned around suddenly and looked at the smoke on the ground with a shocked expression. At this time, the two people hiding in the tree looked at each other and smiled, and at the same time extended a middle finger to show their respect. Tianyu's little heart was pounding. Kakashi really didn't care about him. Fortunately, he kept staring at him and played the body replacement technique at the same time as him. Even knowing that Kakashi would save people at the last moment, Tianyu couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. That is to say, I have become a little bolder in cultivating the four souls recently. Otherwise, a mediocre rookie like him would probably be just as good as Naruto. At this time, Tianyu also truly felt the benefits of InuYasha's four-soul cultivation method. At the very least, it could turn him into a fearless and reckless, brave. The ghost brother showed a disdainful expression. 2. Next is you. Sasuke's expression didn't change. As the number 1 in age, he had already seen the two 6th graders running away using the body replacement technique. He quickly took out his kunai and took a stance, showing the response strategy a strong man should have when his entire clan died and opened a magatama. Baptized by Uchiha Weasel Tsukuyomi, he has been able to deal with the murderous intent of two Chunin. The ghost brother snorted coldly. Choosing one left and one right, Naruto, a novice, rushed forward. The third. At this time, Naruto showed his temperament as a rookie who had never even been out of the village. His whole body was trembling as he watched the poisonous blade getting closer and closer to him. Tianyu looked at Kakashi. Kakashi looked at Tianyu. The two of them stared at each other and winked. Kakashi. Come on. Tianyu. Why don't you come? Just for a moment when the two of them were excusing each other. Sasuke below was killing everyone, and he directly suppressed two elite Chunin with one god and two pits. Tianyu looked at the tree with great interest. As expected of the Uchiha clan, even if they are rookies, they are not comparable to us mediocre rich second generations. At the very least, if Tianyu doesn't use the summoning technique, he won't be able to beat anyone in a duel. There is a huge difference in combat experience. Ninjas fight under the super shadow all by relying on their brains, intelligence, combat intuition, experience and skills. Even as strong as Pain, Jiraiya still needs to constantly collect intelligence in battle to find breakthrough points. Although the information that Jiraiya desperately spread seems to be a joke. But if Jiraiya knew all the information about Pain, not to mention being able to directly defeat Pain, it would be very easy to defeat several Pain clones and easily withdraw from Rain Shinobi village. At this time, the Ghost Brothers also realized that the kid in front of them seemed to be a tough guy. They looked at each other, showing the tacit understanding of twins that is different from ordinary people. The two rushed towards Tazuna and Naruto respectively. There is only one person in Sasuke, and he cannot support two people at the same time. At this time, little Sakura finally recovered from her panic. She forced herself to run in front of her employer, Tatsuna, and made a protective move. Tianyu shook his head. It's over. Neither Sakura nor Naruto can deal with the Ghost Brothers, and it's time for Kakashi to take action. However, at this moment, the golden light spot in his mind suddenly jumped twice. A thought came out from it and Tianyu was stunned. Killing enemies can collect souls to enhance the power of the four souls. Tianyu was stunned. Then, with Kakashi's stunned eyes, he suddenly pulled out his long bow from his back and set it on the demon-breaking arrow. Darling dog, how dare you hit my green tea Sakura, Nisaki. Chapter 12 I am a summoner. Is it reasonable to fight monsters and upgrade? Open black lens bracket second update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. The purple arrow instantly arrived in front of little Sakura like a shooting star. Sasuke, who was about to fight it off, looked confused as his pretentious prey was knocked to the ground by Tianyu's arrow. Impossible, how could it be? The ghost brother vomited blood and looked at the arrow in his heart with a stunned look on his face. Tianyu descended from the sky and appeared in front of Sasuke like a savior. Master Tianyu. Little Sakura looked at Tianyu enthusiastically, as if she had a trend of the brainless fans of Tianyu's previous life. Sasuke looked at Tianyu with a confused expression. Why are you trying to steal the limelight right now? Brother. The ghost brother on the other side roared angrily. Unfortunately, before he could explode, Kakashi immediately took action and subdued him. After finishing, Kakashi looked at Tianyu with a surprised look on his face, and then looked at the arrow that penetrated Brother Kirin's chest. He actually felt that the arrow Tianyu shot just now was carrying chakra nature transformation. How can it be? That is an advanced technique that only Jonin can use. In order to become a Jonin, in addition to contribution, the two most basic conditions are to master chakra's nature transformation and to develop 2 or more chakra attributes. But Tianyu is a genin and he masters the hammer's chakra nature transformation. Kakashi looked suspiciously at Tianyu who was holding little Sakura to comfort him. Is this guy pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? Tianyu didn't pay attention to Kakashi who doubted him and little Sakura who took advantage of him. Because he was immersed in the ecstasy of his previous kill. Just now, the moment he killed the ghost brother. The progress of my 4 soul art training suddenly increased dramatically. The mana that was originally at the genin level suddenly increased to the chunin level after killing Brother Kijin. He felt that at least half of the opponent's soul power was absorbed by his golden light spot. What is this? Fight monsters and upgrade. Tianyu looked at the ghost brother on the side with green eyes. Although it only has mental power, it's pretty awesome, right? Greater mental power means easier control of the flow of chakra. The so-called chakra is a mixture of spiritual power and physical power. In fact, it is an energy formed by using the soul to control the body. Why is it so difficult for ordinary people to master the magic of immortality? Because ordinary chakra only requires 1 mental power to control 1 physical power. The magic of chakra requires 1 part of mental power to control 1 part of physical strength and 1 part of natural energy. The difficulty increases exponentially. It's not difficult to practice. It is basically impossible for most ninjas to have enough soul power to refine the Senjutsu chakra. In addition to the existence of bugs such as Ashura's reincarnation, even the genius Jiraiya also needs the assistance of Toad Sage and his wife. Second generation, a mediocre rich person like Tianyu, can't even think about it. But now Tianyu can gain the enemy's spiritual energy by killing enemies to increase the strength of his soul. Doesn't this mean that as long as you level up, you can be like Senju Hashirama and get whatever you want with just a clap of your hands? Tianyu couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth slightly. Little Sakura looked at Tianyu's handsome face with admiration and asked. Tianyu-san, why did you call me green tea Sakura? Oh, because I feel like you are as sweet and delicious as green tea. Really? Classmate Tianyu, you are so kind. Kakashi glanced at Tianyu with a look of disgust. Although there was nothing wrong with his words, his intuition told him that what Tianyu said was definitely not good. There is nothing kind about such a thing as a nickname. He tied his unconscious ghost brother to a tree and looked at Dazuna with a gloomy look. Mr. Dazuna, tell me, what is going on? Sea-level missions involve dealing with some gangsters, bandits, and bandits at most. Fighting against ninjas is a minimum B-level mission. During missions, these guys who conceal information often cost the ninjas heavy losses or even their lives because of wrong information. Therefore, ninjas extremely hate this kind of garbage that conceals information and releases missions at will. Don't say anything else, if I am not the one leading the team this time. Even a Chunin team may be poisoned by the Ghost Brothers. Kurigakure is famous for his Grandmaster assassination skills. Dazuna's eyes averted, cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and he argued forcefully. What are you talking about? Why can't I understand? Kakashi snorted coldly. We were targeted by enemy village ninjas as soon as we came out of the village. I faked my death this time just to see who the enemy was after. If they are targeting the Konoha shinobi, it may be for revenge, but they are obviously coming for you, Mr. Tatsuna. Fighting enemy ninjas is already a B rank or higher mission. The employer has concealed information, and we have the right to unconditionally cancel the assignment and deduct all commissions. Dazuna was speechless after being questioned by Kakashi. He opened his mouth and collapsed on the ground in despair. He put on a painful expression and looked at Sakura and Naruto, who explained the tragedy of the Land of Waves in a low voice to gain sympathy from them. The thing is like this. I really didn't hide it on purpose, it's just that the country of waves really has no money. Tianyu raised his eyebrows and wondered. To be honest, he didn't have a good impression of this kind of morally kidnapping guy. But after hearing Tazuna's explanation, Naruto felt an overwhelming sense of justice. Coupled with his cowardly performance just now, he shouted to protect Dazuna to complete the construction of the bridge. But at this time Kakashi looked at Tianyu with a smile and asked. Tianyu, what do you think, should we continue the mission? Naruto and Sasuke both looked at Tianyu. Chapter 13 Tianyu turns into the shape of Obito, 3 more data requested. Advertise here. Tianyu scratched his head and looked at the unhappy Sasuke and the expectant Naruto with a dark face. I am just a mediocre guy, so why would I ask myself something like this? Me. Why don't we go back? It's so dangerous. Everyone is dead. Who knows how many enemy village ninjas are waiting for us? Our combat power is not enough to make up for it. Dasna flashed a look of disappointment when he heard this. Kakashi had a suspicious expression on his face. Could it be that I saw it wrong? Is this guy really not pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? At this time, Tianyu walked to the corpse of the ghost brother and pulled out the arrow. He looked at Kakashi and explained calmly. This is the latest secret ninja tool developed by our Tien family. Use one less ninja. Kakashi suddenly realized. It turns out that this is the ninja tool that Tiantian's family sells. Naruto and Sakura were a little scared as they watched Tianyu pull out the arrow from the corpse. This was the first time they had seen real murder. Only Sasuke couldn't help but stepped forward and asked. Where are they sold? I also want to buy a few. The fourth generation's family property was embezzled by Sarutobi Hiruzen, but the Sasuke family's inheritance is all in Sasuke's hands. After all, there are Uchiha dozens of people watching, and Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others don't want to offend Uchiha Itachi for the inheritance of a clan leader. Of course, except for Fugakuga, the inheritance of the Uchiha clan members has been confiscated. Tianyu chuckled. Experimental products are not for sale to the public for the time being. Sasuke was a little disappointed, now he longed for anything that would increase his strength. At this time, Naruto stared at Tianyu angrily and asked. Tianyu, why don't you help uncle? Naruto truly grew up overnight after Jiraiya's death. At this time, Naruto was still the kind of person who would do anything to get others to recognize him. Tianyu glanced at Kakashi and suddenly said, Naruto, which do you think is more important, the mission or your companions? Kakashi was stunned and suddenly looked at Tianyu. Due to Tianyu's troubles, Kakashi did not ask the answer he wanted most in this graduation examination. Therefore, Kakashi has always had a grudge against Naruto, Sasuke and others. Now Tianyu asked again, which unexpectedly made Kakashi very concerned. As a top student, Sakura whispered with lingering fear. Of course, the mission is more important, right? The mission code we learned says that the ninja mission comes first, and personal emotions must be stifled. Naruto was startled and nodded repeatedly. Yes, that's what the book says. He had read fart books, skipped all classes when he was in school, and had basically 0 points for theoretical knowledge. Sasuke declined to comment. A trace of disappointment flashed in Kakashi's eyes, and he felt his whole expression turn cold. But Tianyu chuckled at this time and said, No, Naruto, I think companions are more important. Kakashi's eyes lit up and he said deliberately. In the ninja world, ninjas who don't follow the rules are trash. Your idea will be spurned by others. Tianyu pretended not to care, waved his hand and said with a smile. In my opinion, people who ignore the lives of their companions are worse than garbage. Kakashi was shocked. The figure of Uchiha Obito and Tianyu slowly overlapped in his mind. Confidant. These two words were all in Kakashi's mind. Tianyu's heart was filled with joy. Kakashi is stable. Nowadays, my ninjutsu talent is growing rapidly with the practice of Shihenju. This also means that those ABC level ninjutsu that were originally difficult for me will be like a big sister who takes off her clothes and lies in front of her for others to take advantage of. Ninjutsu, a strategic resource, cannot be bought with money. If a civilian ninja like Tianyu learns ninjutsu on his own, it will take a lot of time and tasks to earn contributions, and then exchange them with Sarutobi Hiruzen. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not really that short of money. He wants money but he is not stupid enough to use ninjutsu to repay it. This is the core of what Hokage uses to control Konoha's civilian ninjas. If you want to become stronger, you must do tasks. Otherwise, like those ninjas who want to retire and go into business on their own, and embarrass the Hokage, then he, the Hokage, will not be able to do it anymore. But it would be different if Kakashi's teachings were there. Although Kakashi became semi-crippled due to Sharingan, there is nothing false about his reputation as a copy ninja. Thousands of ninjutsu, including Rasengan, 8 inner gates, 5 Dragon Balls and a series of convenient and advanced ninjutsu in Kakashi City. It can be said that except for some forbidden technique, Kakashi masters more ninjutsu than the Book of Ceilings. Tianyu even suspected that there were some forbidden techniques that Kakashi didn't know, but that he couldn't practice even with his qualifications. Now that I have maxed out Kakashi's favorability, is it still difficult to obtain the training method of ninjutsu? Not difficult. This is simply a lucrative business. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said with a smile. In my opinion, your lives are much more important than the mission. Naruto, what would be the consequences if Mr. Kakashi and I didn't take action just now? Naruto opened his mouth to speak. Tianyu interrupted Naruto directly and continued. You and Sakura-chan will definitely sacrifice one of you. Even so. But Tianyu complained crazily in his heart. Of course, there are no consequences for this bullshit. The person you rented the house from could probably get violent and beat everyone in the circle to death. And besides Nine Tails chakra, Naruto also has 4th generation chakra, Kushina chakra, Ashura chakra. As long as there is one person here who pays the rent, Naruto can explode like a stallion and kill everyone. It's a pity that Naruto doesn't know. He lowered his head in shame. I want to refute but don't know how to refute. Kakashi suddenly understood after listening to what Tianyu said. No wonder Tianyu wants to take action. It turns out that he was worried that he couldn't kill the two little Kurami at the same time, so he chose to kill one of them. So Kakashi waved his hand enthusiastically. I can't let my students look down on me. Tianyu, Naruto, Sasuke, forget it this time, with me as elite Jonin leading the team, I will let you see the battle between real ninjas. Tianyu looked at Kakashi in confusion. He really plans to return to the village. You must know that at this time, Kakashi has not yet come out of the decadent window period. After so many years of wasting time, and even using 2A-level ninjutsu to make him faint for a week, Tianyu really didn't want him to meet Zabuza at this time. What if it causes the butterfly effect because of myself? What if Naruto and Sasuke failed to save Kakashi? What if Zabuza opens it as wide as during the Fourth War? That's the destruction of the group. As for Dazna, forget about it. An old drunkard who doesn't care about other people's lives and kidnaps others due to their morality will die. There are many pitiful people in the ninja world, and Tatsuna and the Land of Waves are not even on the list. I finally tried to convince Naruto, a fool, but you showed up again. Chapter 14. Zabuza was so angry that he vomited blood. Fourth update, requesting data. Advertise here. Kakashi and Tianyu were riding a speedboat heading to the country of waves. Little Sakura was directly sent back to Konoha by Tianyu. After all, she was just a genin who was invited by Tianyu to perform a C-level mission. Little Sakura was naturally happy to do this. She had been extremely scared after seeing the Ghost Brothers being killed. In fact, Tianyu also secretly gave a task to little Sakura. That is to spend money to send a B-level support mission to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Ask that old man Sarutobi Hiruzen to send some reinforcements after him. As the saying goes, a gentleman does not stand behind a dangerous wall. I have finally been reborn as a rich second generation, and now Cheat has received my money. If I hadn't risen yet and died halfway, I would have suffered a lot. Anyway, things that can be solved with money are not a problem. While Tianyu agreed with Kakashi, a guy who wanted to establish WeChat in front of students, he prepared an extra billion hands for himself. And as the fog gradually spreads, everyone also entered the territory of the Kingdom of Waves. Tianyu followed Kakashi closely and put his sixth sense to the maximum to detect the enemy. The cultivation of the four souls has a very good bonus to these combat intuitions. The double kill of the Ghost Brothers allowed Tianyu's spiritual training to reach the level of elite Chunin. At this time, Tianyu was no longer as unable to detect the traces of these Chunin and Jonin as when he first left the village. It's a pity that this method of killing monsters and upgrading is not suitable for long-term use, otherwise Tianyu wouldn't mind becoming a magic cultivator. Even though killing an enemy can absorb nearly half of the spiritual power, there is actually a limit to how much it can help Tianyu improve. There are less than 90,000 ninjas in the entire ninja world, and most of them are genin. Taking Naruto's chakra amount at this time as an example, he needs to kill 200 Kakashi to barely obtain spiritual power at the same chakra level as Naruto. Not to mention that during the Fourth War, Naruto's chakra amount was calculated in units of 10,000 cards. It is not certain whether the spiritual power value of Naruto's chakra can be obtained by slaughtering the entire ninja world. Therefore, this thing is destined to be only an auxiliary, and it is unrealistic to rely on this to reach the top of life. However, Tianyu still prepared many backup plans to deal with Zabuza. For example now, get down. Kakashi suddenly shouted angrily. A rotating broadsword flew past from a distance and slashed at everyone. Naruto and Sasuke immediately pushed Tazuna down to where he was. Tianyu's eyes lit up, and he quickly took out the summoning scroll and pressed it to the ground. Summoning technique. Bang! A huge and heavy iron door was summoned by Tianyu. The beheading knife hit the door with a clang, creating a gap. Tianyu took out a huge hammer again with lightning speed. 80. With several consecutive clicks, the poor beheading knife was broken into several pieces under his savage manipulation. In the stunned expressions of Zabuza and Kakashi, Tianyu sealed the decapitation into a scroll and put it away. In the end, not even a handle of the beheading sword was left by Zabuza. Zabuza, who originally wanted to stand on the decapitating sword and show off, was stunned as if he had been struck by lightning. After being stunned for a few seconds, Zabuza suddenly came to his senses and roared angrily. Damn you brat! Give me back my ninja sword! Tianyu screamed. Kakashi-sensei, what are you waiting for? FK him. Kakashi was shocked. He took out his kunai and rushed towards Zabuza. Zabuza's face was now as black as the bottom of a pot, and he almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. He didn't even say anything, he took out his special kunai for assassination and rushed towards Kakashi. Tianyu breathed a long sigh of relief. In this way, the chance of Kakashi overturning is much smaller. At this point in time, Kakashi's ability value is only 5 points different from Zabuza's. Among them, physical skills, strength, and chakra are all lower than Zabuza's. In other words, at this time, Kakashi is no match for Zabuza in taijutsu, and his biggest advantages, ninjutsu and genjutsu, cannot be used continuously due to lack of mana. If we add a beheading sword to this, the probability of Kakashi overturning can be said to have skyrocketed. Now that the decapitating sword is gone, Kakashi should be able to perform stable output with the Sharingan and a stronger IQ than Zabuza. He doesn't want to put his life on the premise that Naruto and Sasuke can explode. At this time, Sasuke and Naruto looked at the sudden change with their mouths open and were a little overwhelmed. On the contrary, Tianyu very skillfully began to summon various defensive ninja tools from the scroll, and surrounded several people tightly. It is impossible to break this bastard's shell with Zabuza's water-style ninjutsu without dozens of attacks with chakra nature transformation. Zabuza looked at the large iron shell not far away with its veins exposed. He looked at it with a crazy look on his face. Kakashi couldn't help but complain. Where the hell did you find this top-quality product? It's poisonous. Bye. At this time, Zabuza couldn't care less about letting Shiro collect intelligence. As long as they team up to take down Kakashi, wouldn't that turtle shell be able to be opened whenever he wants? At this time, Tianyu, who was in the shell, took a breath of cold air and sighed in his heart. Damn it, has the plot changed? Bai actually took action directly. Fortunately, I took action early. You must know that this guy Shiro is even more powerful than Zabuza, but it was only because of his kindness that he was unwilling to make a fatal move that allowed Naruto and Sasuke to make a comeback. Naruto on the side was anxious. Tianyu, why are you covering us up? Go help Mr. Kakashi. Sasuke on the side also shouted coldly. Open the mechanism and let us out. You are responsible for protecting your employer. In the darkness, Tianyu rolled his eyes and complained in his heart. Help, just help. It's true that two losers who can't even climb a tree are going to be a burden. He looked at the battlefield through the periscope at the top. It was discovered that Kakashi was at a disadvantage at this time. Tianyu glanced at Dasna with a sigh. If it couldn't be done, he would kick Tazuna out. Anyway, Zabuza's target was just the old man. As long as Tazuna died, he would not waste time in front of him. Dasna trembled all over. Looking at Tianyu's faint eyes, he felt an ominous premonition in his heart. However, Tianyu ignored Dasna at this time. He thought for a moment and opened a portal and threw Naruto and Sasuke out. Come on, I'll add buff to you. Chapter 15 Summoning Moroha. Arrows rain from the sky. Advertise here. Sasuke and Naruto looked confused. They looked at the hemisphere-shaped iron lump behind them with black lines on their head. Are you so afraid of death? But Kakashi's expression changed. In his opinion, neither Naruto, who is the last person, nor Sasuke, who is the so-called number one in age, is nothing more than a burden. If they were in Tianyu's ninja tool, he could still fight with peace of mind, but why did these two idiots come out? Zabuza seemed to realize this. He laughed, kicked Kakashi a few meters away and ordered loudly. Bye, kill those two brats. Kakashi's face changed drastically. From the previous contact, he had discovered that the boy's strength was definitely not comparable to that of Naruto and Sasuke. Run. Go and wait in Tianyu's ninja tool. Naruto immediately retorted unhappily. Teacher Kakashi, we are here to help you. I won't be afraid this time. Kakashi cursed secretly. Is this a gang? This is adding to the chaos. If I had known that I would have taught a few people seriously when I was in the village. In the original work, Kakashi was deeply moved to teach the three of them seriously after encountering Zabuza and Naruto and Sasuke not escaping. But this time, Naruto and the others didn't even pass the assessment of their companions, so it was naturally impossible for them to win Kakashi's favor. He had been working in Class 7 with the idea of spying on Naruto. At this time, Bai Yi's body flicker technique had already appeared in front of Naruto and Sasuke. He kicked Naruto and Sasuke away instantly with a roundhouse kick. Naruto and Sasuke, who have not yet mastered the ability of chakra attachment, cannot even touch Shiro. Tianyu in the ninja tool muttered a few words. It's too useless. I can't fight yet. Yes, although Tianyu at this time is not as good as Naruto and Sasuke in terms of physical fitness. However, due to the cultivation of the four souls, I have been able to easily control chakra to enhance physical skills and combat intuition. It's just that as a summoner, Tianyu will not be stupid enough to stand and master RB by himself. He bit his finger and quickly formed a seal and slapped it on the ground. Summoning technique. With a bang, Zuya appeared next to Tianyu carrying a long bow and Kurogamaru. Huh, do you want to buy something again? Zuya asked Tianyu excitedly. In just such a period of time, Tianyu's consumption almost helped him pay off his debt. But the demon-breaking arrow is gone. I still have the remaining points to fight monsters. Tianyu chuckled. This time I'm not buying anything. This time I'm hiring you to do a favor and beat up bad guys. Zuya licked his tongue after hearing this. Alright, 10 taels of gold. Tianyu nodded without hesitation. No problem. Deal. Summoning is not a seance ritual to summon heroic spirits. Although the summoning beast has a contract, the other party may not necessarily do anything for you. Unless Sasuke uses Sharingan to control Summoningmon forcibly. Otherwise, they can only make a deal with both parties like Wan Shi, or become buddies like Jiraiya. The relationship between Tianyu and Zuya belongs to both. At this time, Kakashi outside was very worried. In just a short time, both Naruto and Sasuke were beaten until they vomited blood. Sasuke, the so-called genius of the Uchiha clan, is completely incompetent in front of elites like Shiro who have been trained as killing machines since childhood. Now he has not mastered the skills to control the body attached to chakra. Even if he reopens Sharingan, he will not be able to confront Shiro head-on. Because simply opening his eyes is useless, his body cannot keep up with the speed of his eyes. Geniuses such as Uchiha Itachi sprained his ankle when fighting Anbu because he was not familiar with using Sharingan. Shiro apologized to Sasuke and Naruto in a gentle voice. Sorry, this is Zabuza-sama's order. After saying that, he used Senbon to quickly seal Naruto and Sasuke's holes. Hateful. Naruto's eyes flashed with anger and unwillingness. He remembered what Tianyu once said about the issue of missions and companions. Naruto flashed a hint of annoyance. If I had agreed to Tianyu returning to Konoha, I'm afraid this wouldn't have happened, right? He looked back at the iron shell where Tianyu was. This immovable ninja basically has no choice but to wait for death. I was the one who harmed Mr. Kakashi and Tianyu. Haku's Senbon stabbed Naruto's neck. Naruto's eyes gradually turned into vertical pupils with anxiety and anger. Just when the Nine Tails chakra is about to overflow, a purple arrow suddenly fell from the sky and pierced into Naruto's body. Huh, there's another one here who's possessed by a monster. The sealing power attached to the demon-breaking arrow instantly pressed back the Nine Tails chakra. I'll wipe it. Tianyu looked at Naruto speechlessly. At this time, the seal of Nine Tails was so reliable. This is a friendly army. Hit the one with the mask. Zuya scratched his head in embarrassment. Really? She hurriedly shot an arrow at Bai again, and the purple spiritual power turned into a lightsaber and flew straight towards Bai. Nani? Kakashi looked at the girl in red in shock. Tianyu actually contracted her. Bai's expression changed, and he quickly moved away from the direction of the arrow attack. The light arrow passed Bai's side and shot towards the sky. Bai let out a long sigh of relief. He felt the chakra attached to the arrow. It was very strong. However, at this moment, Zabuza's angry shout suddenly came from behind Shiro. Shiro, hide quickly. Zuya grinned and shouted. Rain of arrows from the sky. Countless arrows fell from the sky in an instant and covered all the areas nearby. Chapter 16 Mist Shinobi Technique. My Moroha is a dog demon. Advertise here. Nani, what kind of ninjutsu is this? Kakashi and others looked up in surprise. As the owner of the blood succession limit, Bai instantly created an airtight ice wall in front of him. Ice release Bingyan Tangwu. Countless arrows fell down, creating large craters in the ice wall, but Moroha's attack was ultimately blocked by Shiro. Tianyu glanced at Bai with some envy. With this blood inheritance limit, is there still a shortage of ice cubes for drinks in summer? But Tianyu is not too jealous. Because he knew that the 5 elements escape technique, including the blood succession boundary, could be developed on his own as the soul's power increased. Onoki's dust release is not inherited through blood, and Terumi Mei's boil style is not inherited either. Even Tianyu, who is a fusion of the 5 elements escape technique, might not be unable to practice it. The natives of the ninja world cannot be developed simply because their soul power is not strong. And now that Tianyu has cheat, he has broken the shackles of his bloodline. As long as he doesn't die, sooner or later his soul will be powerful enough to fuse the yin and yang of the 5 elements to develop the 6 paths ninjutsu. Tianyu had a hunch that as long as he cultivated the 4 souls to the level of 1 card, he should be able to try to fuse 2 chakras with different attributes. In the training system of the ninja world, the truly powerful thing is the soul after all. The wedge of the Otsutsuki clan is freed from the physical body, allowing the soul to attach to the chakra for inheritance. At this time, Moroha didn't panic when he saw Shiro's ninjutsu. She could tell that the boy opposite her was no better than her physically. After all, he has the blood of a quarter dog demon, and he is definitely stronger than this pure human being. But the opponent's spiritual power is stronger than his own, so he only needs to guard against the opponent's spells. Zuya thought for a while, picked up the long bow and pulled out the tang sword Kurogamaru. If your spiritual power is not as strong as the opponent's, then use your demonic power. Even if she is only a quarter of the demon clan, she is still very powerful as a descendant of King Duya. With a swipe, Zuya rushed towards Bai. Zabuza's expression changed. Quickly jump onto the river and quickly form seals. Mist Shinobi Technique. Thick white fog slowly enveloped the surroundings. Kakashi's expression changed and he loudly reminded everyone. Be careful with his silent killing technique. Zabuza sneered. The heart, throat, spleen and stomach, there are many critical points in the human body, and they can be killed with just a light touch. I am Mist Shinobi Zabuza Kijin Momochi. I will determine your position by just using my voice. I will send you to become a Buddha today. Quote. Kakashi's face was solemn. No, there is a lot of his chakra mixed in the thick fog, Sharingan cannot observe it. After all, the Sharingan is not a Byakugan. It is a copying eye rather than an observation eye. Once the line of sight is blocked, the Sharingan's effect will be much smaller. However, Zuya didn't mean to panic at all. Her little nose sniffed vigorously like a puppy. Then he suddenly gathered a large amount of demonic power on Kurokamaru to create a huge red dragon flame. Red dragon break, Zuya shouted. The fire dragon rushed towards the edge of a river. Zabuza's shocked voice came from above the thick fog. Impossible. How could you find my location? Water-style water barrier. With a bang, the collision of water and fire made the surrounding dense fog become more intense. Tianyu silently mourned for Zabuza in his heart. Moroha is a dog demon, and his nose is better than that of a ninja dog. Zabuza himself couldn't tell the direction in the thick fog, so he could only rely on the sound to identify the location, and Moroha's nose was much more accurate than him in hearing sounds. It can be said that Mist Shinobi technique has not only not been weakened for Moroha, but has been strengthened to an epic level. She chuckled and rushed straight towards Zabuza. Although her level is Chunin, she only has demon power and spiritual power. In terms of physical skills, she is not inferior to any Jonin. The demon clan is destined to be more physically capable than the ninja clan. This is a racial talent that even Tianyu cannot envy. Ding ding ding. Soon the sound of fierce fighting came from the thick fog. With his super strong body and fighting talent, Moroha actually fought Zabuza to a close. Ninjas, are destined to have a training system based on ninjutsu. Once they are approached by a taijutsu training system like Moroha, they can easily be suppressed. Although Tianyu couldn't see the fighting situation, but sensing the chakra consumption in his body, he found that Moroha was much stronger than he thought. At this time, he still had the energy to summon two other Yasha princesses of the same level as Moroha, Setsuna and Higurashi Eternal. Tianyu smacked his lips in surprise. This cheat is more powerful than I imagined. 3 summoned beasts that can defeat Zabuza. Doesn't he already have the terrifying power of 3 cards? Tisk tisk, it's so scary, it turns out that I am so strong. Chapter 17 The Powerful Dog Demon Moroha. Open black lens bracket second update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Tianyu also knew that this was actually because he had taken advantage of Zabuza's ability in close combat. The combat power of the ninja world is seriously broken. Above the super shadow and below the super shadow are 2 levels of qualitative and quantitative differences. As long as it doesn't reach super shadow, even if it's as strong as third Raikage, it will still be killed by the crowd tactics. But as long as you reach the super shadow, there is no problem in easily destroying a ninja village. Therefore, especially Jonin's combat power at the cage level stage is actually not as great as imagined. 3 or 5 Jonin can easily kill a weakling like 4th cage. The battles below Chaoying mainly focus on combat awareness, attribute restraint, as well as the talent and physical fitness refined by chakra, that is, physical strength. The reason why Orochimaru can easily fight to the death of the 3rd generation is also because the 3rd generation is too old and unable to cope with it. Although the message from the Golden Light Points said that Moroha only has the strength of Chunin. But in fact, she is a special Jonin with extraordinary physical skills. Coupled with the unique magic of the demon clan that does not require sealing. This makes Moroha's actual combat power much stronger than what the panel attributes show. Kakashi frowned and listened to the fighting in the thick fog. Mist Shinobi technique is really too restrictive for Sharingan. He took a deep breath, bit his finger and quickly formed a seal and shouted. Summoning technique. Several ninja dogs followed the scent and burrowed towards Zabuza from the ground. This time he didn't even have to throw around the summoning scroll. Shiro's expression changed, he sensed Mr. Zabuza's crisis. Zabuza-sama. A ding sound. Zabuza used his special kunai to block Moroha's Tang sword again. Losing the decapitating sword had a huge impact on his combat effectiveness. At this moment, 6 or 7 ninja dogs suddenly emerged from the ground and bit Zabuza all over his body. Earth-style chasing teeth technique. Zuya's eyes lit up, he laughed loudly and poured the demonic power into the weapon again. Red Dragon Break. The red fire dragon gathered in an instant and rushed towards Zabuza. Zabuza's expression changed drastically. Why didn't this damn ninjutsu require a seal? Ice escape secret technique. Exploding ice crystals. At this time, an anxious and sharp shout came from the ice under Zabuza's feet. Shiro instantly teleported from the ice and arrived in front of Zabuza. The river beneath his feet instantly burst into sharp ice spikes and rushed towards the fire dragon. The flames and ice spikes collided and instantly erupted into a terrifying air wave. The fog that filled the sky was quickly blown away by the alternating hot and cold winds. Sasuke blocked his eyes with his hands and finally saw the battle situation on the field. Zabuza is controlled. The masked boy was fighting against the girl in red. The powerful power made Sasuke feel jealous. He looked at Zuya with a look of reluctance. Damn it. Why? I'm obviously the same as Naruto. I'm obviously the genius. He had no room to intervene in a battle of this level. Tianyu's eyes lit up and he quickly put away his protective ninja tool. In this situation, there is no need to huddle up anymore. At this time, Bai's face changed. He looked at Tianyu who had shamelessly taken out his long bow and prepared for a sneak attack with a look of constipation on his face. It was so damn irritating. I saw him controlling the ice crystals with one hand to fight Zuya, and the other hand quickly formed a single-handed seal to perform ninjutsu. Water-style secret technique. Kill Shuixiang. Countless water droplets wrinkled up in midair, forming countless ice needles that stabbed towards Tianyu. Kakashi's expression changed. Be careful. He quickly formed seals with his hands in an attempt to use earth current wall to help Tianyu resist. However, at this moment Zabuza burst out laughing. Well done, Kakashi, fight me and you still want to run away. Water-style water dragon bomb technique. He forced several dogs to form water dragon bomb seals quickly. One for one. If you form a seal to save that genin, then you can't even think about continuing the fight. Kakashi's expression suddenly changed, and Jonin's decisiveness instantly caused him to interrupt the spellcasting and choose the simplified version of second generation's water dragon bomb to attack Zabuza. Sasuke. Protect Tianyu. He is the hope of victory. Now he can suppress Zabuza, but Haku only has Tianyu's summoning mon that can resist it. Now either he or Tianyu wins or loses first, which will cause a huge change in the situation of the battle. Sasuke's face turned pale. As a result, he turned out to be a purely supporting role, which he, a genius who had enjoyed the halo of the protagonist for 6 years, simply couldn't accept it. He quickly appeared in front of Tianyu, stood in front of Tianyu with a decisive gesture, and began to seal the knot one by one. Tianyu's face darkened, and he kicked Sasuke aside. Get lost. By the time you finish forming the seal, we will all be turned into hedgehogs. Tianyu quickly sat cross-legged, pretending to be meditating and closed his eyes to enter a meditative state, as if ignoring all the attacks in front of him. Kakashi, Zabuza, Haku and others looked at Tianyu in confusion. Is this guy crazy? Want to commit suicide? Ice needles all over the sky arrived in front of Tianyu like bullets. But right now, the spiritual power from InuYasha's world slowly emanated from Tianyu's body, forming an invisible wave that enveloped Tianyu's body. As the ice needles approached, a scene that stunned Kakashi and the others came into view. Chapter 18 I am a time traveler, and 1 month is reasonable, right? Open black lens bracket 3rd update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Nani. What is going on? Kakashi and the other 3 looked at Tianyu in astonishment. The ice needles all over the sky suddenly turned into water droplets after getting close to Tianyu, and then fell on Tianyu like drizzle without causing any harm. Enchantment. InuYasha's Demon Slayer specializes in restraining monsters with magical barriers. It can prevent enemy intrusion, or it can be used to eliminate its own smell so that monsters cannot see its own skills. It can also block monsters' sorcery skills. The magic power system in InuYasha's world is entirely based on soul power. Therefore, the barrier released by Tianyu directly dissipates the chakra in the ninjutsu from the ice needle. As a result, the river water that had turned into ice needles due to the ice escape chakra instantly turned into water droplets and fell on Tianyu. This kind of barrier is similar to the formation of the ninja world. However, it is very different from the 4 purple flame formation. The advantage of the barrier is that it consumes less power and can dispel it with more ninjutsu. It is suitable for a small and powerful person. Even Tianyu can exert the protective power of the 4 purple flame formation that is not inferior to that of the sound ninja F4. The disadvantages are obviously obvious. Tianyu wiped his face with water. Damn it, this thing can't protect against physical attacks. If Bai casually threw a Fusenbon, he would probably become a hedgehog, even if it was Earth style, he would be bruised and swollen. Fortunately, the white ice turned into water. At this time, Tianyu wiped his face, looked at everyone who was in a daze and shouted. What a bullshit, take advantage of the opportunity to hit him. Moroha reacted immediately, and she poured all the remaining demonic power into Kurogara Maru. The dragon pattern on the blade flashed and emitted even more terrifying fluctuations. Haha, you have to pay more this time. It's so popular. The white face on the other side was shocked. Damn it, she doesn't have to use seals. But he could only not withdraw his ninjutsu. The original fire dragon instantly wrapped around the ice as if resurrected. On the basis of the original red dragon break, the fire dragon absorbed White's chakra and swept it back. A larger red dragon flame rushed towards Bai. This move actually has the same effect as Kisami's water-style shark bullet technique. They both absorb the enemy's chakra to strengthen themselves for counterattack. The terrifying flames instantly swept through Bai's body, and screams came from the flames. White. Zabuza's expression changed drastically. Zuya chuckled and gave Tianyu a thumbs up. Remember to add money. With a bang, she turned into white mist and returned to InuYasha's world. And at the same time, the energy of Tianyu's second golden light point surged, slowly forming a small golden vortex in the sea of consciousness. This looks very much like the portal Tianyu used to play Diablo. As this Jonin, Tianyu felt a little unbelievable as he felt the surging power fluctuations in his body. 2 elite Chunin plus 1/2 of Haku pushed his spiritual power to Jonin level. It's only been a month, right? He was speechless and complained crazily in his heart that he had lived like a dog for the past 12 years. It took 12 years to barely become a civilian genin, but only 1 month after opening cheat, I had Jonin level energy. Although this energy is spiritual power and not chakra, the surge in spiritual power has also greatly improved his talent as a ninja. Spiritual power represents the soul and represents spiritual energy. The improvement of spiritual energy greatly improves the stability and quality of the chakra you refine. The performance of ninjutsu requires the ninja to use spiritual energy to control the physical energy and mix it to form chakra and then perform the ninjutsu. So at the end of the early Hokage training, it was said that the physical strength was not enough, not that the chakra was not enough. The biggest difference between Genin, Chunin and Jonin is their ability to stably maintain the amount of chakra extracted from the body. And this kind of stability requires mental control. Simply put, the so-called chakra amount of genin, chunin, and jonin refers to the upper limit of chakra that a ninja can refine at any time. It is not the upper limit of the total amount of chakra that can be produced in the cells of the body. If a person's physical strength can produce 10,000 points of chakra, then genin can only refine and release 10 chakra at one time, chunin can release 50, and jonin can release 100. Under the premise of the same physical fitness, the more mental power, the greater the power of ninjutsu that can be released. So it's the same great fireball, Sasuke releases a small fireball, and Uchiha Itachi releases a small sun. The difference in the chakra that the two can extract is huge. There are no techniques for cultivating spiritual power in the ninja world. Basically, all ninjas can only increase their mental energy through hard training or increasing experience over time. Therefore, in the original work, when Kakashi saw Sasuke using the Great Fireball, he was surprised and said that Sasuke should not be able to release the Great Fireball at his current age. In Kakashi's understanding, children like Sasuke who live in peaceful times do not have enough experience and willpower to control more chakra to release the Great Fireball technique. But Tianyu was different at this time. The 4 soul cultivation techniques he exchanged from InuYasha's world happened to be able to actively improve his mental power. Coupled with the soul absorbing technique, his mental power now reached Jonin level. Tianyu only needs to adapt to the surge in mental power for a period of time, and his ninja strength will quickly rise to the special Jonin level. As for why it is not Jonin, because Jonin is not Jonin as long as the chakra is measured. Combat experience, ninjutsu, chakra attributes and nature transformation are the basic requirements for becoming a Jonin. Naruto's chakra amount at this time is higher than Kakashi's, but Kakashi can beat him with one hand, so Kakashi is Jonin and Naruto is Genin. Having chakra refining talent is like a child holding AK parts. Having weapons but not being able to assemble them is of no use. But this already makes Tianyu very satisfied. After all, he didn't even have parts before, only a wooden stick. Tianyu lamented in his heart. He finally saw the qualifications to become a Jonin. Then he looked at Zabuza with excitement on his face. This guy is an elite Jonin. And it's the one with the full level chakra in the formula book. If you don't kill this, it's unacceptable. Chapter 19. It makes sense to have the Jade of 4 souls in your mind, right? Open black lens bracket 4th update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Kakashi sensei. Come on. FK him. What are you waiting for? Tianyu, whose mental power surged, did not swell at all. Even though he wanted to grab the head, Zabuza still chose to wave the flag and shout when he saw that he was covered with dogs. He knew that Zabuza could directly kill Kato in the crowd with just one mouth. He was a greedy soul, but he would not put himself in danger. However, Zabuza stared at Tianyu with red eyes. The murderous look in his eyes wanted to reach the sky. Death to you, kid. Zabuza suddenly burst out with a terrifying chakra, and Parker and other ninja dogs were instantly thrown away. And he himself rushed towards Tianyu. Beheading broadsword, summoning beast, white. 90% of the reason why I am so miserable this time is because of this hateful brat. Even if I die, I will support him. It was just Kakashi who was stunned for a moment. Zabuza was already in front of Tianyu. At this time, Kakashi came back to his senses from the shock. This series of magical methods shocked even the well-informed Jonin. But he was shocked and Tianyu vomited blood. This is when you are in a daze, you are still Jonin, you Jonin was bought with money, right? However, Tianyu suddenly thought, Kakashi's Jonin was really the only one chosen by Jonin in the 3rd battle because he had lost all his men. In order to boost morale, a so-called genius was specially promoted to be Jonin. Parallel import Jonin, Kakashi, who has not gotten over the knot in his heart at this time, is really too good. Fortunately, Tianyu had already made preparations. Seeing Zabuza murdering him, he suddenly fell back and fell to the ground. Burst. In the confused eyes of everyone. Sakura Hanabuki's gold version of the 3000 explosive talisman, exploded from Zabuza's feet in an instant. Zabuza, who lost his mind because of Shiro, was instantly drowned in the fire. The terrifying explosion directly set off a small mushroom cloud. Zabuza's broken limbs and arms were blown up everywhere along with the air waves. Bah, hee hee, who said the explosive charms can't kill people? If they can't be killed, then there aren't enough of them. Tianyu got up from the ground covered in mud because he got too close and was thrown away. The river water that had just fallen in vain turned into mud when it encountered dust. Not far away, Kakashi looked at Tianyu with a horrified expression. Did this guy bury the explosive charm in that place when he took it out of the ninja tool? Did he expect that the other party would kill him? That's right, in the dark ninja shell, Tianyu had already prepared 3000 detonating charms and buried them in the ground as a trap. Under normal circumstances, Zabuza, as an elite Jonin, would naturally be able to detect it. But Haku's death shook Zabuza's heart, and he was so furious that he rushed towards Tianyu without observing his surroundings. In the ninja world, apart from the super shadow, only the physical training bugs like Third Raikage can withstand the frontal bombardment of this number of detonating symbols. The 300 million detonating symbols prepared by Conan were also posted in dozens of sheets. And the rest, not to mention elite Jonin, even if cage level was hit by an explosion of 3,000 detonating symbols without defense, it would be blown to pieces. Zabuza's death once again provided Tianyu's golden vortex with a lot of spiritual power. Tianyu found that the vortex had become much more solid. What on earth is this? From a light point to a cyclone, it won't liquefy or solidify anymore, right? Is lousy a cultivator? Suddenly, the unconscious Naruto let out a scream. The Nine Tails chakra, which was sealed by Moroha's demon-breaking arrow, slowly overflowed from the body again. Kakashi's expression changed and he quickly came to Naruto's side. He noticed that the arrow on Naruto's shoulder was being slowly forced out by the Nine Tails chakra. The seal on Naruto's abdomen slowly emerged. Not good. The Nine Tails seal is loose. Kakashi took out a scroll with a solemn expression and pressed it on Naruto's abdomen, seal. He quickly injected his own chakra into the 8-sign seal in Naruto's body through the conversion of the scroll seal. Tianyu frowned as he watched the Nine Tails gradually withdrawing from Naruto. Just now, there was a sense of crisis in his heart. It felt like being targeted by something terrifying. Nine Tails. Tianyu thought for a moment with some doubts. Is Nine Tails hostile to me? Not quite like hostility. Tianyu frowned. That seems to be an emotion of longing. Feeling like you want to eat yourself. At this time, Tianyu, who was cultivating the four souls, could vaguely sense the innermost thoughts of the soul like the perfect Jinchuriki. Nine Tails wants to eat itself. Tianyu looked at Naruto with a strange look on his face. He knew that although Nine Tails was rumored to be a man-eating fox monster, in fact it was an unlucky fox who ate hot pot and sang songs in the forest and was knocked on the door by the first generation who caressed the dog's head. His pure chakra life is useless for eating people. Unless, Tianyu suddenly looked at the golden vortex in his sea of consciousness. Damn it, isn't this the unfinished Four Souls Jade? Chapter 20 Tianyu who turned into the flesh of Tang Monk 5th update. Advertise here. In the world of InuYasha, they divided the soul into 4 attributes. The lucky soul represents love, the harmonious soul represents family, the wild soul represents courage, and the odd soul represents wisdom. The orb crystallized from the 4 souls is the Jade of the 4 souls. Normally, 4 souls from different lives cannot be fused. The Shikan Tama in InuYasha's world is a crystal created by the forcible fusion of a large number of monster souls at the expense of her own soul by Miko Suko who possesses the soul extraction technique. And no matter how I look at this thing in my mind, it looks like Queasy purifies the enemy's soul and turns it into pure spiritual power. Unlike the Miko Suko who died together before her death, resulting in the souls of a large number of monsters not being purified. The spiritual power in my mind is completely the purest spiritual power. So as long as I keep killing enemies, sooner or later I will be able to successfully form a 4-soul Jade with no side effects. No wonder Nine Tails is restless. Nine Tails is classified as a fox demon or tree demon in InuYasha's world. Monsters have an instinctive desire for good things like the Shikan Jade. Tianyu smacked his lips. Damn it, have you become the Tang Monk meat of a tailed beast? At this time, Kakashi had suppressed Nine Tails in Naruto's body again. He was sweating profusely and breathed a sigh of relief. The fight didn't consume much chakra, it was all used to seal Naruto. He stood up. He glanced at Tianyu with a complicated expression. Then he said in a solemn tone. Next, go to Dazuna's house to make repairs, Sasuke. For the time being, Tianyu's orders will prevail. Sasuke was stunned and his face turned ugly. What do you mean? Tianyu sighed. What do you mean? He walked up to Kakashi speechlessly. Kakashi looked at Tianyu solemnly and said. Leave it to you. I know you have asked little Sakura to go back to the village to ask for help. Wait for someone to come. As soon as he finished speaking, Kakashi rolled his eyes and fainted at Sasuke's confused expression. Tianyu twitched the corner of his mouth, supported Kakashi who was about to fall to the ground and sighed. What are you looking at? Let's go. There shouldn't be any danger this time. After saying that, he summoned 2 new sleighs again, and then threw the tired Kakashi and Naruto onto the cars. When Naruto woke up, he had arrived at Dazuna's house. Who attacked me? Naruto yelled as soon as he woke up. Sasuke on the side rolled his eyes and snorted. Idiot. Naruto was immediately furious. Sass. You are the idiot. At this time the door opened. Tianyu walked in with a bowl of fragrant udon noodles in his hand. Huh, are you awake? Naruto was delighted when he saw this. Tianyu. Are you okay? Only then did he look around, and immediately found Mr. Kakashi lying unconscious next to him. Kakashi-sensei. What happened? Naruto's memory only seemed to be that he ran to a cage and then lost consciousness. He looked at Sasuke. Sasuke turned his head and snorted with an unhappy look on his face. He looked at Tianyu again. Tianyu said with a serious smile. Hey, you didn't see it. After you fainted, I saw how incompetent you were, so I walked out of the ninja tool and killed everyone. With a wave of my hand, I turned the masked man into a roast chicken, and then exploded that ghost man, was torn apart and brought you here. Naruto looked at Tianyu with disdain after hearing this. What are you bragging about? You don't even dare to come out of that turtle shell. He looked at Sasuke, who was clenching his fists, and his face suddenly became depressed. I see, it's Sasuke again, right? Sasuke had killed everyone when he met the Ghost Brothers before, and he must be the same now. Naruto's heart was filled with anger. Why am I always so little worse than him? Obviously we will catch up soon. Tianyu looked at Sasuke and smiled. Look, you lost the bet. Come on, should you give me the things? Sasuke snorted coldly. Then he threw a scroll to Tianyu. Tianyu's eyes suddenly brightened. Finally got it. Summoning scroll passed down from the Uchiha clan. On the way back, Tianyu suddenly remembered the mission of summoning Kai Ninja that Sasuke and Uchiha Itachi did. So he asked Sasuke if the Uchiha clan also had a summoning contract. Unexpectedly, Sasuke actually nodded. And Tianyu also felt that if he wanted to open a new light spot, he would probably need to contract a new summoning beast. Because he suspected that the summoning contract was the time and space anchor that helped him connect the two worlds. So he made a bet with Sasuke. When Naruto wakes up, will he think that Sasuke is the one who solves this trouble? If Tianyu loses, he will use the secret technique to help Sasuke improve his strength. If Sasuke lost, he asked Tianyu to sign the summoning scroll of the Uchiha clan. The result can be imagined. Naruto didn't even see Moroha before he was unconscious, and he didn't even think that timid Tianyu had solved Zabuza and Haku. Tianyu excitedly waved the summoning scroll in his hand and smiled. Thanks, don't worry, even if you win, I will help you improve your strength. But it's limited to treading water and climbing trees. After all, he was the one who deceived Sasuke about the secret technique, and he didn't have the secret technique, only cheat. Unfortunately, it was impossible to give this thing to Sasuke. Sasuke snorted and didn't reply, but the upward movement of the corners of his mouth proved that he was still very happy in his heart. Tianyu couldn't wait to open the summoning scroll. Chapter 21 The New Contract Family. Open black lens bracket. Ask for data. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Tianyu was a little surprised when he looked at the test paper. He turned to Sasuke and asked strangely. Isn't it a cat? Why is it a bird? Sasuke frowned. Who told you that the summoning beasts of our Uchiha clan are from cats, and we have always been birds? Tianyu twitched the corner of his mouth and complained in his heart. The anime told me that you and your brother also wear cat ears. Suddenly Tianyu remembered that in the anime, Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi used crows as summoning beasts, and Sasuke also used hawks. Putting it this way, it seems that the summoningmon of the Uchiha clan are all birds. But Tianyu doesn't care whether it's a cat or a bird. Anyway, he was just testing his conjecture. After Tianyu signed his name, he bit his finger and pressed the blood seal on the scroll. In this way, the contract is completed. Although Tianyu doesn't know the principle, anyway, as long as he thinks about the arrival of birds, he can transfer his consciousness to the bird tribe. As for who comes, it depends on the amount of chakra input and who is available in the bird tribe. Naruto summoned Toji when he summoned Toad Boss during the fourth battle. It is not without reason that summoning technique has not been spread. If summoning is a blind chicken without a blood contract, if a million snakes are found, the host will be swallowed up immediately. Therefore, the blood contract can be said to be the designated race summoning. Thanks. Tianyu waved his hand. Look for me in the woods tonight. Naruto's eyes widened and he looked at Tianyu and Sasuke in shock. Damn it, what happened to you two? I exploded. Sasuke seemed to feel Naruto's horrified gaze, and he roared angrily, get out. Tianyu smiled. He left Dazna's house in a flash. Now Zabuza is dead. Cardo's men are all a group of gangsters. The two strongest so-called samurai can't even defeat Naruto, so there is no need to worry about the safety of Sasuke and the others. Tianyu found a remote forest by himself. He bit his fingers and began to form seals. As expected, as the seals progressed, there was another channel for the chakra flowing in his body. That's the third point of light. Tianyu's eyes sparkled. The first one is the ninja world. The second one is InuYasha world, this is the third one. Summoning technique. Bang! A burst of white mist appeared in front of Tianyu. A graceful figure slowly emerged from the white mist. Tianyu frowned. He suddenly smelled smoke from the white mist. A cursing voice came from the smoke. Who brought me here? What are you planning to do? At this time, the long-legged BABY5, wearing a maid uniform and holding a cigarette in his mouth, was constantly fanning the thick fog in front of him with his hands. FK. Tianyu looked at BABY5 in confusion, and there was a wave of fluctuations in the newly born light spot. Summoningmon. BABY5 Demon Fruit Power. Open black lens bracket strength. Shunin close black lens bracket. Ability. Weapon transformation, sword girl, missile girl, pistol girl, sickle girl, pistol kick, physical skills. Secret skill. None. Family. Don Quixote family. Hiss. Tianyu took a breath of cold air. Good guys, colleagues in the pirate world, Warmonger's Doflamingo and his gang. At this time, the muzzle of a gun was pointed at Tianyu. Baby 5 held a cigarette in his mouth and stared at Tianyu with an unhappy look on his face and asked. Who are you? Why did you bring me here? A warm and bright smile filled Tianyu's mouth. He stretched out his right hand and said with a kind smile. I need you, please marry me. Baby 5 on the opposite side widened his eyes. Immediately, The fair cheeks quickly turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. She dropped the gun with excitement, held Tianyu's hand tightly and asked eagerly. Is that true? Baby 5, a patient with personality defects. Because being abandoned by his mother since childhood left a psychological shadow, he will not refuse anyone's needs. Tianyu smiled like a flower, nodded and said. Of course it's true, absolutely true. He took out a few detonating charms from his hand and handed them to BABY5 and said sincerely. This is a meeting gift for your young master. Just tell him that I have a big deal to do with him. Baby 5 nodded excitedly when she heard this. She put her pretty face in front of Tianyu and gestured shyly. Tianyu was not polite and kissed BABY5 on the face. Baby 5 jumped twice excitedly and returned to Dressrosa with a bang. Tianyu squinted his eyes and began to think about how to use this new passage. Doflamingo is not as easy to fool as Yashahime. These are all a group of extremely vicious pirates. The abandoned toys buried under the arena can be piled up into a hill, and they were all made with human lives. If I don't show the corresponding strength, or if I have enough benefits, summoning Doflamingo and his group may suffer backlash. Fortunately, Tianyu already has a general idea, and now it depends on the effect of the gift given to him by Baby-5. Chapter 22. Young Master, this is my husband's meeting gift requesting data. Advertise here. Dressrosa Palace. At this time, Dressrosa was undergoing intensive construction. Not long after Doflamingo seized power in Dressrosa, the name of the clown had not yet spread throughout the underground world. However, the cultivation of artificial devil fruit has been put on the agenda, and the Don Quixote family is preparing to continue to expand and enhance the family's strength. Doflamingo dreams of taking down those damn celestial dragons, and to this end he is willing to cooperate with 4 Emperors Kaido using artificial devil fruit as an inducement. Everything is developing for the better. It was just an insignificant piece of news the day before yesterday that made him a little unhappy. The Bellamy pirates, whom he had casually gifted out of kindness, were actually attacked by a newcomer and lost the reputation of his Don Quixote family, which made Doflamingo particularly unhappy. It just so happened that the Shichibukai summoning order was suddenly sent from naval headquarters. Doflamingo was going to take a trip to Gaia Island to kill Bellamy's little Kurami and the Straw Hat pirates who provoked him. At this time, Baby 5's cheerful shout came from outside the house. Young Master, Young Master. Torbal, who was next to Doflamingo, said with a big snot dripping from his nose. Some idiot must have tricked BABY5 into asking her to borrow money. Let Gladius kill him later. Doflamingo didn't refute, he thought so too, after all, he knew the characters of these family members very well. Although he is very cruel, he is more important to his family than anyone else. Even though BABY5 assassinated him many times because of his so-called boyfriend, he never got angry. As long as they don't betray themselves, Doflamingo's tolerance for its officers is almost unmatched by other pirate groups. Ever since he was laughed at when he sent his father's head to Mariajoy, he vowed to destroy this disgusting world, and at the same time create a new world with the Torbal family and become the new master of the world. Little Lord. Baby 5 ran to Doflamingo excitedly, I'm needed. Torbal's face showed a true expression. He chuckled and asked Baby 5, who is your boyfriend this time? Baby 5 glared at Torbal and snorted. I didn't tell you, you were the one who killed my husband last time. Circa defended Torbal in his high-pitched voice. We are doing this for your own good, they just want to use you and borrow money from you. Baby 5 retorted loudly. No, definitely not, they need me. And this time my husband gave me a gift. Baby 5 said and took out the detonating talisman given by Tianyu. Doflamingo and others looked at BABY5 in surprise. After being deceived for so many years, they actually saw their money back. It's not scientific. Baby 5 proudly handed the detonating talisman to Doflamingo's hands and said. This is a meeting gift from my husband to the young master. Everyone looked at the detonating talisman in Doflamingo's hand with strange expressions. Send face gifts and paper. Where is this custom? Does Dressrosa have this custom? Doflamingo frowned and looked around at the detonating talisman that looked like a ghost painting. Torbal on the side snorted and said blankly. Is this thing on fire? At this time, the first detonating talisman in Doflamingo's hand had already ignited flames. What is this? The cadres leaned over with curious faces. Boom. A violent explosion sounded from Doflamingo's hand. Doflamingo and several cadres glared at BABY5 with dark faces. The cadres with observation hockey and armament hockey naturally would not have any accidents due to this sudden explosion. Not to mention that the power of a single explosive talisman is at most about the same as the cannonballs in the pirate world. It is still difficult to kill these big pirates at the New World level. Baby 5 has grown its mouth. That, I don't know. Several blood vessels bulged on Doflamingo's forehead. He gritted his teeth and said hatefully to BABY5. Tell me, who is it? What's your name? Baby 5 blinked timidly. I really don't know, I forgot to ask. Doflamingo and the others are so depressed that they want to vomit blood. They are looking for husbands who can't even remember their names. Depend on. Seeing the black faces everywhere, Baby 5 turned his head to the side and suppressed his laughter and said. I just heard in my head that someone needed me, and I said yes, and then I showed up to my husband. At this time, Diamante's eyes suddenly opened wide. I think I heard it too. Doflamingo's pupils shrank. He suddenly remembered. He seemed to have heard the call, but an invisible wave told him that the power of the call was not enough to make him come. If he came forcibly, it would consume most of his power. He thought it was a trap, so he naturally chose to refuse. Doflamingo looked at Torbal with a solemn expression. Torrebel also nodded. Doflamingo became alert. This is a demon fruit power that dares to attack our Don Quixote family. He looked at Baby 5 with a gloomy face and asked. Besides the greeting, what else did he say? Baby 5 blinked. In addition to the meeting gift, he seems to have said that he wants to do business with the young master. Everyone was stunned when they heard this. Doing business. Suddenly it occurred to me that only the first one of those pieces of paper was open. Thinking again of the explosive words on the paper. Damn it, they didn't send it as a sample, right? Chapter 23. Magical Skills in the Pirate World, 3rd Update. Advertise here. At this time in the country of waves. Tianyu muttered to himself as he watched Naruto and Sasuke trying to climb the tree. The other party should have seen the effect of the detonating talisman, right? They are all warmongers. They are all colleagues. It is impossible for Doflamingo not to see the practicality of the detonating talisman on the battlefield. When the time comes, I will have a cross-border arms deal with Doflamingo, and the small amount of money will really be spent. In terms of supplies, the ninja world cannot match the richness of the pirate world. The base currency used there is gold. But in terms of training system, Hokage is obviously better than that of pirate world. In Tianyu's view, compared to the chakra system, the training system of the pirate world has a very big advantage. But if divided according to expressiveness, Marine Admiral and 4 Emperors are the first to enter the super cage level category, while Doflamingo is at best the peak of cage level. There are only 4 known super shadows in the ninja world. Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, pseudo 6 paths Naruto and Sasuke in the later period. These 4 are basically at the peak of super shadow. Among them, except for Senju Hashirama, 3 of them have even reached the pseudo 6 paths level, which is 1 step shy of the 6 paths level. As for those Marine Admiral and 4 Emperors, they have just reached the level of super shadow, which is completely different from the creation level 6 paths. In terms of top combat power, the world of pirates is not as good as the world of Hokage. The fundamental reason for this is that the strong men in the pirate world do not cultivate their souls, which is energy. It is completely opposite to InuYasha's world, which respects physical skills. Their training system is more like the warriors of the Iron Kingdom, who roughly attach physical energy to their bodies or weapons to increase their power. This method of cultivation has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage, of course, is that there is no need to increase experience or cultivate spiritual energy. You only need to continuously increase the strength of the physical body to release an attack of huge physical energy comparable to the scale of Madara. The disadvantage is that you age quickly and die early, which eliminates the possibility of reaching the 6 paths level. The strong men in the pirate world are like those who practice 8 inner gates. Although the powerful chakra can cause terrifying power, it can cause great damage to the body. Not to mention that many skills are Kryptonian. When those admirals get older, their strength will be greatly weakened, even top players like Garp and Rayleigh. However, this quick training system makes it easier for genin to cage level mid-level combat power in the pirate world than in the ninja world. Moreover, in the world of pirates, there is a body-refining secret technique that is the top secret technique in the ninja world. Life is returned. In the ninja world, Might Guy can only recover by himself by lying down when using the 8 inner gates. However, in the pirate world, you can ingest food to strengthen your body through the return of life, and at the same time make up for the damage caused to the body by the hockey system. This is the magical skill that supports the entire pirate world's training system. It is also the source of endless sit-ups for Luffy and his team. Naturally, what Tianyu wants to trade the most is this skill. This thing is engraved in the genetic information of people in the pirate world just like the blood inheritance limit. So what Tianyu wants is to be able to practice the 6-stage body refining technique of life return. It shouldn't be difficult to get Doflamingo as the former celestial dragons and current Shichibukai. Once the transaction is completed, his shortcoming of physical weakness will be made up for. Maybe I can accomplish the feat of treating Yi Guy as an A on the internet in my previous life. Body training in the pirate world, god training in the InuYasha world, and fusion of the two in the ninja world to advance to the 6 paths level and become an immortal god. Tianyu's eyes flashed with excitement. In the face of immortality, even he, a time traveler, was extremely excited. With a plop, Naruto fell out of the tree again. He sneakily approached Tianyu and asked in a low voice. Tianyu, do you have any secrets? Not far away, Sasuke froze and turned his ears towards Tianyu and Naruto calmly. It is impossible to take the initiative to ask, Lousy is a genius. Tianyu gave Naruto a strange look. The secret, of course there is. Use 9 tails and I'll be amazed. It will turn you into a top genius in minutes. If Naruto didn't have 9 tails in his body, he would probably be able to easily master climbing trees and treading water at a glance. Because the reason why Naruto has difficulty controlling chakra is purely because of 9 tails' ability to pick the lock. Ninetales lock-picking caused Naruto to expend a lot of energy and chakra to suppress the Ninetales chakra, making it particularly difficult for him to control the chakra. Even so, Naruto was still able to quickly catch up with Sasuke, master the Rasengan, and develop the Rasengan Shuriken. This is enough to show how terrifying Naruto's talent is as the son of 4th generation and Kushina. But unfortunately it's not realistic. Tianyu touched his chin and said in deep thought. The secret. Let me try it. After Tianyu finished speaking, he put his hand on Naruto's forehead. He closed his eyes and relaxed his mind, and spiritual energy poured directly into Naruto's body. The next second, Tianyu has arrived at the door of a huge prison. This is where the Nine-Tails seal in Naruto's consciousness space is located. Chapter 24. Seal Nine-Tails, Tianyu's ambition. Open black lens bracket 4th update close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Kid, who are you? Nine-Tails in the cage let out an excited roar. It stared at Tianyu, with laughter coming out of the corners of its mouth. Yummy, this guy is delicious. At this time, Nine-Tails' instinct is urging him to devour Tianyu's soul. Because there is a very pure power of the 4 souls gathered there. An ordinary monster will gain great strength if it obtains just one fragment, not to mention that the power of Tianyu's 4 souls at this time is much stronger than one fragment. Tianyu looked around curiously. Is this the 8-sign seal? So those corridors outside are the circuits that purify the power of Nine-Tails and turn it into Naruto chakra. Although Namikaze Minato has a flawed brain, he is indeed a genius. Deliberately leaving a gap in the seal, allowing the Nine-Tails chakra to overflow and be continuously purified by the 8-sign seal and transformed into Naruto's chakra, thus suppressing Nine-Tails in reverse. The longer the seal lasts, the less likely it is that Nine-Tails will be unsealed, which is why Naruto sealed Nine-Tails with his baby body without going berserk. If Naruto was just an ordinary ninja with ordinary blood, this might be an excellent sealing method. Unfortunately Naruto is not. Who is Naruto? The direct bloodline of the princess of the Uzumaki clan, the reincarnation of Ashura Chakra, the legitimate son of Sage of 6 Paths. With the poor and shallow knowledge of Namikaze Minato, a civilian ninja. He thought that he could give Nine-Tails to his son and collect some Nine-Tails wool to resist Obito, the mastermind behind the scenes. In fact, Senju Hashirama has suppressed Uchiha Madara since he was young, and in the later period, he defeated Nine-Tails plus Uchiha Madara by himself. The amount of chakra is counted in 10,000 cards, which is not inferior to the total amount of Super Shadow Madara plus Nine-Tails. As a result, when Naruto came here, he was still a weakling at the age of 12 and could not even master a clone technique. The existence of Nine-Tails not only did not help Naruto, but killed Naruto's ultimate talent as a direct line of the Uzumaki clan and the reincarnation of Ashura. During the 4th Raikage of Naruto, why did he grow so quickly from 4th Raikage who could barely fight even one hand to 6 Paths Naruto who was second only to 6 Paths? Isn't it because the reconciliation with Nine-Tails completely released Naruto's talents? Tianyu touched the seal of the cage and a look of desire flashed in his eyes. This thing has the same ability as the shrine maiden Suko who made the Shakan Jade. It has the power to purify the soul. If he obtains the seal of the Uzumaki clan, the condensation of the 4 souls Jade will definitely speed up much faster. Nine-Tails looked at Tianyu who ignored him and screamed anxiously. Let me out kid, I can give you power. Let you out. Tianyu laughed. After all, I am also Naruto's companion. Do you understand the bond? Do you understand the soul? Forget it, you stupid fox doesn't even understand. Tianyu shook his head and placed his hand on the seal. The spiritual power from the second vortex began to slowly pour into the 8-sign seal. In the human training system of InuYasha's world, the lethality of spiritual power is really very limited. In the later stage, the protagonist group's fights all relied on the demonic power of InuYasha, a half-demon. The reason why witches and wizards can resist monsters is: one is because spiritual power has a very strong restraint property against monsters. The second reason is because spiritual power has very strong sealing properties. With a long bow and a demon-breaking arrow, Kikyo has sealed countless powerful demons. Her seal can even last for hundreds of years without weakening. So Tianyu's secret method to help Naruto improve is to strengthen the 8-sign seal so that the Nine-Tails chakra will not be leaked at all, and completely seal the Nine-Tails so that it can no longer interfere with Naruto. Although Tianyu's total amount of spiritual power at this time is only Jonin level. However, it is still possible to completely silence Nine-Tails with the existing 8-sign seal. With the gradual infusion of spiritual power, the sealed door that originally looked like an iron fence was slowly replaced by an airtight iron door. A demon-breaking arrow pierced the 8-sign seal. Although this thing has an entity, it is more like a conceptual weapon like a noble phantasm, and it can also be transformed into a seal. Nine-Tails saw that he had finally pried open some of the seals, but now there was not even a crack left. He suddenly slapped the seal crazily and roared. No, you're looking for death. I'm going to kill you. Tianyu's expression did not change at all, and his eyes were even full of disdain. Forget it if they are the summoning beasts of the 3 holy places. They are living entities, which are very different from the monsters of the InuYasha system. But you, a collection of pure chakra products, are tightly restrained by the attributes of spiritual power. If you leak a little bit of Nine-Tails chakra lousy, you will be considered awesome. Tianyu looked at Ninetales' hateful eyes in the gradually shrinking crack in the door and sneered. Don't worry, it won't be long, I will come back again. Ninetales is a big monster. If he is completely integrated into the golden vortex, I am afraid that 1/10 of the progress of the Four Souls Jade can be completed in an instant. It's not time yet. Tianyu's eyes are deep. As a human being, you still have to have a bottom line. Naruto is his companion. Now he can't suppress the tailed beast. Bah, now he can't solve the situation of pulling away from Jinchuriki and dying, so he still needs to be patient. I'll come here again when I can hold on to Naruto's life. He is a lucky soul who practices love, a harmony soul of relatives, a wild soul of courage, and a wonderful soul of wisdom, a demon slayer who loves world peace. Tianyu withdrew his greedy gaze. To others, the tailed beast may be synonymous with fear, but to me, it is a tonic. Tianyu muttered. Human ambition is indeed linked to strength. Once upon a time, he just wanted to marry 365 concubines and change each other's shengshou every night. Now that he has the hope of pursuing immortality, the number of 365 should also increase. Maybe you can consider collecting stamps. Tianyu happily exited his vegetable garden. Bah, Naruto's sealed space. The next second, Naruto's body suddenly erupted with terrifying chakra. Sasuke on the side was so stunned that his eyes almost fell out of his head. Tianyu sighed with relief. I really do it for your own good. Ninetales and all that are just a burden.